Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Tuesday morning. Hold on one second, guys. Give me 1 second, guys. Give me just give me one. We do have subscriber only mode on, and you have to be, again, subscribing to the channel is free. Memberships are the ones that you have to pay for, but subscribing to the channel as a whole, free. And so you have to be a subscriber for more than a few minutes to be able to comment in the chat. I did that because we have an awful lot of trolls coming in lately. And sometimes the trolls don't want to have to subscribe to troll. I mean, granted, some of them will, and then unsubscribe, which is fine. But it just makes it a little more annoying for them. So give me 1 second, guys, real quick. Hold on. I'm telling you guys, it's one of those mornings. It's just already one of those mornings. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I mean, I agree with you, Christy. They are just unhappy. Sorry, people. Unhappy. You know, 100%, 100% unhappy. But most of you are already subscribed, so you don't have to worry about not being able to talk in said chat because you're subscribed. So, hi, Holly. Oh, listen, I have had vertigo quite a few times, and it's not fun. It is not fun, my friend. I hope you feel better. Yeah, my daughter gets infusions, and believe me, I totally get it, my friend. I totally get it. I do. So yesterday we had a lot of issues with Chime, Venmo, all these things were down. Amazon, all these things had like an issue yesterday, and the day before, as a matter of fact. So hopefully today it's all working. I checked this morning just to see if everything was in good, working order. It was, so that's a good thing. Also, I know you. Oh, see, I got this a while back from one of you lovely people, and I felt like today was the day we could put it up. My husband put it up for me because, to me, it sort of represents a coming together, right? That's what it represents to me. Also, my do epic shit sign, as you can see, you guys can't see it because it's too bright. It's too bright. It's so neon that all you can see is the outline of it. Isn't that insane? That's how bright it is. You can only see the outline of the sign. So therefore, I'm going to shut it off. But it makes me sad. It makes me sad. It makes me sad that we have to shut it off. But it does say do epic shit. It's just too bright. Like my soul. It's too bright, so it doesn't, unfortunately, it can't be on. I was like, God dang it. See, that's the thing about those signs. This one's probably the brightest I've ever owned. There are other ones that are much dimmer that you can see. But that is so bright that you can't see it on camera. It's too bright. So, unfortunately, it's going to have to just be bright. My little was sitting in here messing with my screens yesterday. Of course, per usual, messing with my screens and sitting in my chair. Yeah, my husband said that too. He's like, what about it? But it's the light. The light is so bright that you can't, there's nothing to, like, you can't dim it. It doesn't go any dimmer. And so even if there's a background behind it, it'd be too bright for you to see anyway. Yeah, probably. But I mean, I did wear my I am just here to establish an alibi shirt. Just for you guys. Just for you guys, I wore my I'm just here to establish an alibi shirt. Okay? Just here to establish an alibi. All for you guys. So, there's been a lot of crap going on lately. Behind the scenes, not behind the scenes. Lots of hate, lots of anger, lots of vitriol. And I felt it necessary today to sort of have this stream for it to be a sort of a coming together, right? Like, the sewer turtle has done a lot to try to divide people, try to create this chaos of hate and anger and vitriol. And I feel like there's a lot of you who have come here to sort of figure out what the hell is going on with all of that, right? And I'm grateful that you all came here to figure that out. I am grateful you came here to figure out what the hell is going on. But at the same time, I want you all, hold on, this a little bit. Perfect, TT. Thank you so much, my friend. I want to sort of go back to the roots of why some people came here, right? Some of you came here because you were feeling this sort of pressure of, well, you have to belong to one side or another, right? You can't belong to just being a normal human, right? And getting along with people and at the same time disagreeing on certain things. That's not allowed. That was not allowed in that community, right? Well, I'm here to tell you that we're building a new community. I have built my community from the ground up by itself, and I am extremely proud of that community that I have. And I feel like we're growing a little, which is amazing. And at the same time, we're getting new people all the time. And I want people to know that it's not okay for someone to force you to pick a side, right? That's not okay. They can't be like, oh, well, if you believe this, then you have to do X, Y, and Z. That's not an option. That is not an option at all. Hold on a second. I got to fix something on the screen here. I'll leave the mic on, but let me just fix what the hell is going on here on this. Let me grab something real quick. One second. I know, it's my bad. Give me one second. Here. All right, so, okay. I want to bring it back to the basics. You know what I mean? The basics. The basics of no one gets to tell you that you have to believe this and therefore you are on this side. Or you have to belong to this sort of hate-filled atrocity that is what the sewer turtle has sort of built around him. That's not normal behavior. It's just not, you guys. It's not normal. Not by any stretch of the freaking imagination. All right? You're allowed to agree to disagree on certain things, right? And still have friends that you enjoy, that you hang out with, and that you like, that believe something different. You have that right. Nobody has a right to tell you otherwise, right? And that's been a huge problem, where it's like, hey, if you believe Karen is innocent, then you have to only watch these content creators and only talk to these specific people. If you dare talk to an anti, you're a bad person, right? You're a shitty person, you know? And I think that's my point, Jesse, right? My opinion on the case doesn't make me me, right? All the other things in real life make me me. And I think people have sort of forgotten that it's not normal to attack every girlfriend you've ever had. It's not normal to attack 90% women. That stuff's not normal. You know, of course, and you're never going to find, there's never going to be one group that you're going to 100% agree on, you know, the opinion shared. And I love that, Christy. See, that's what I'm going for, right? I want people to feel loved and cared about. And if there's an issue, you know, like YBE the other day, you know, people were saying like, hey, if you don't have, you know, food in your house, we'll pitch in to help, right? Like right here in the chat, right? I love to see that stuff. And most creators, they sort of poo-poo, shoo-shoo that stuff away because in their eyes, it's taking away from their monetary gain. And I find that to be extremely selfish. And we're talking about creators that are much larger than I, right? So they're making a pretty decent amount of money, and yet they still sort of poo-poo these things in their own chat happening. I find that to be deplorable. I don't like it. It feels gross to not be proud that people are wanting to reach out and help one another, right? Like that's the community I foster, is you guys sort of getting to know each other. And like, this is the safe space, right? Like you're having a bad day. Doesn't matter what we're talking about. I know you can find one of us, you know, inside chat or outside of the stream, and we'd be happy to answer you and talk to you and whatever, right? It's about reaching across. I think this sort of anger that we've seen, this anger, this vitriol, this hate, it was fostered by him. It's unfortunate, you know? To me, it's just, it goes to show, right, that maybe if we stop and think for a second, like if we stop and think for a second, maybe we can fix this together, right? Because the amount of hate that man has created. My grandmother used to say, it's not a hand out, it's a hand up, right? And I might not be able to help with much, but I'm always willing to pitch in even if I don't have it, because it's the right thing to do. It is. It just is. It's the right thing to do. Hold on one second. Sorry, guys. I need my hubby to give me a delivery of the charger. My phone is on 3% because I must not have charged it last night, even though I could have sworn to God that I did charge it last night. I guess I didn't charge it. Thank you, delivery man. I'll take a delivery kiss, please. Thank you. Thank you, sir. I left a tip on the porch. Crittering, obviously. His tip was the coffee this morning. That was his tip. His tip was listen to your wife. That's a good tip, right? You know? Yeah, see, that's, I mean, I'm not gonna, to come here, you know, to defend Aiden was just utterly ridiculous. You know what I mean? Like, what are you defending exactly? You're defending the indefensible? It just doesn't, you know what I mean? It makes no logical sense. You're not going to come here and defend the indefensible. He's a bad fucking person. It's really that simple. It's not hard. I mean, if you're going to sit there and defend somebody that just trash talked, you know, every woman they've ever been with, I mean, that's a little crazy. That's a little freaking crazy, you know? Hold on a second. So that's the other thing, right? I mean, that's not your fault anyway, Melissa. You know what I mean? Like, that's not your fault. There's nothing you can do, you know, to stop that. But for me, it's like, what are you defending? These people don't even realize what they're defending, and that's part of the problem. Like, what are we defending? You know? You're defending something that can't be defended. You're defending him harming other women. You know? I know, you know, we all want to believe that, like, everyone will come around, and maybe he will. Hold on, we're buffering, I'm fixing it. And maybe he will come around, right? And maybe he won't. That's just the reality. People don't even realize why they're defending him. That's half the problem. They don't even know. They have no idea. They just blindly do, thinking that you're doing something good, thinking they're defending a decent person who's just trying to be silenced, and all the bullshit he has fed them for so long. It's just not the truth. That's not the truth. They don't even know why they're they just do it. They automatically do it. They just automatically defend him no matter what he's done or how bad it is. And it's like, you have to ask yourself, is that the kind of behavior that you condone? Me and StreamYard are going to fight this morning. I'm not doing this buffering bullshit. Like, I'm definitely going to attempt to try a restream, I think, next month, because I can't keep having my streams, like, you know, with the buffering. I can't do it. I cannot. Not okay. See, now it's, I don't know what it's doing over here on YouTube. So let me ask. But that's my point, right? And that's the problem, though, right? Like, Chris is dropping receipts, Flip's dropping receipts, I've dropped receipts. How many more receipts do people need? I mean, what is it going to take? You know, I have so many more receipts that I can't even put out there because there are people who are afraid, and rightfully so. You know, rightfully so. Look what happens when they even say boo. All Kara had to do was say she was, you know, had moved on with her life and doesn't even really think about him, and wants really nothing to do with him, and boom, she's attacked. From years old beef of, and his beef simply was she didn't support him anymore. She didn't support his bullshit and his abusive behavior, and so therefore she must be destroyed by the turtle. Now, does that sit right with anyone? Because it sure as fuck doesn't sit right with anyone who uses critical thinking skills and isn't just blindly believing what we will call a cult leader, because at this point, that's where we're at, right? And the cult leader has minions. There are minions, okay? Make no mistake about it. I used to start the show with, hello, good morning, minions, as a sort of joke, because he has minions. I kid you not when I say this. People, you know, love to say, like, he doesn't tell anybody what to say or what to do or what to write, but that's false. He absolutely 1,000% does. He demanded this woman go on her Twitter and disparage me and her other friends that he doesn't like. He demanded that she write a statement that she threw herself at him, even if... Sorry, guys, I don't know what's up with StreamYard today. But even if it wasn't true, you know, he wanted her to get on there and write disparaging things about her friends and say she threw herself at him. That's what he wanted to do. That's what he wanted to fucking do. He said he wouldn't allow the narrative that all he talks about is sex regarding her like a perv. So to prove me wrong, he did just that, a show all about sex, right? I mean, that's what I'm saying. What in the actual hell aren't people getting, you know? It's crazy to me. Are you okay? Are you scared? No, you're not scared because you know you have people, you know, behind you. Thank you, Peggy. I appreciate you. For me, and there are hi Wallflower, and to be honest, there are people who are waking up, right? There are 100%. There are, and you know, I put today's stream on subscriber only mode because subscriber only mode stops some troll. I mean, they'd have to subscribe and wait minutes to be able to comment, and even then, they're just going to get booted. But most people who come here are subscribed. It's free to hit the subscribe button to any channel. It's free to hit the subscribe button. The only things that cost money are memberships, of course, to be a member of the channel. But it's absolutely, I'm going to put out some a member only short today, as a matter of fact. So if you're not a member and you want to be a member, oh wait, where's my QR code? Even though Jesse reminded me already ahead of time, I still forgot. That's the QR code in the corner there on the top. Yeah, it makes sure that they would have to subscribe and then wait 3 minutes before they can comment. That's what I have it set on right now. So some of the trolls will just abandon ship, so they don't have to, or some will subscribe and then unsubscribe, whatever. They'll be, you know, bounced for it's, you know what I mean? They're wasting time doing that. But the point is I think people need to start thinking about why he does the things that he does and what they're actually supporting here. What are they actually supporting? You're supporting the tearing down of women because, make no mistake, 90% of the people he, you know, attacks are women. Does that shock anyone? Doesn't shock me, that's for sure. Women, 90% women, the people he attacks. It's not normal, right? Like, let's bring it back to people can exist and coexist, even if they don't believe the same things, because nobody is 100% going to agree on anything, you know? I hope you feel so much better. I am sorry that you were sick. Believe me, I can feel it in my throat right now. So I know that I'm getting sick and it's the last thing I freaking need. I agree with this statement wholeheartedly. It's just as bad as the glare and Aiden, you know? And I think, again, you're going to have minions running all over the place. Let me show you something that I got this morning, okay? Or that I saw this morning. And this is just to prove a point here, all right? This is driving me nuts. Sorry, guys. Right? Don't eat sugar before bed? I'll try not to. Oh my God. You're right, Julie. I didn't even think of that. Oh my God. Let's pray. I cannot do pneumonia again. It's right around, you know, my birthday every year. I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't have pneumonia again. I had it in 2023. I was sick again this last year around this time, 2024. I cannot do it. I cannot be sick again. I really would like to go out for my birthday this year. I haven't been out in 2 or 3 years for my birthday, and I would really like to go out this year, and my birthday's next month. In the end, it's actually Black Friday. Go figure. That's the thing, right? You don't even, these people aren't just crossing the line, they're jumping straight over it, and then some. So let me see. Okay, here it is, right here. Let me just boop. Hold on. Screen. So Flip posted this morning, right? And right here it says, let's cut all the bullshit, shall we? Why did @Meredith O'Neill send me a private conversation between her and my friend as a threat? In this conversation, Meredith in blue, she calls
Nurse Kim and the Glarer, we call her the Glazer, a liar, and blames Jess Machado of sending the recording around. I thought she wasn't involved, question mark. So this person says that it probably got spread around, that shared or sent it to Karen, and I genuinely have no idea who would have sent it around, but I have zero doubts that Aiden sent it to his friends, and it probably got spread around that way. Meredith says it was Jess. And says, yes, he caught her sharing a Signal message with Karen a couple weekends ago. She's obsessed with saying she's Aiden's only bestie, the only one Aiden can trust, yet she consistently is creating these situations so she can be the one to save him. Like when she did her space and called Kim and Will liars. She was well aware that they were lying to protect Aiden, but she wanted to insert herself into it. Now, ask yourself, what the actual fuck would Aiden need to be protected from, folks? Unless he was lying about the fucking recording. What would he be? You know what I'm saying? Like, come on. Like, come on. Let's be honest here. You know? Let's be honest. What would anybody be protecting him from? Unless he was doing shit that is a crime. You know? Like, come on, man. All these people still saying, oh, we don't really know, right? We don't really know if he recorded her. We're just assuming. No, we're not fucking assuming. Maybe you're assuming, but I'm not fucking assuming. I'm not assuming. I know. So there's a big fucking difference, right? These people are, oh, we're all assuming. It's a big assumption. No, maybe you're assuming because you don't know, but I know. There's a big fucking difference, okay? Some people know and can't put out certain receipts for certain reasons. That's very clear. I know. There is no did he. He did. 100% hands down he did. Right? I mean, it would also explain why she called out Kim and Will as liars about the audio, and I've heard it, but that's the thing. You're going to sit there and lie? What are you protecting? Well, why are you protecting him? He did something he shouldn't have done. And instead of saying, hey, I don't agree with it, blah, 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 y'all lie to your audiences? The fuck? What are we doing here? What are we doing here? Protecting people from committing crimes? Why? Why are we doing that? Talk about slumming, Jess Machado. Is it not slumming? Is it not slumming around, making excuses for a man who keeps committing fucking crimes and attacking women? Is that not slumming? I'm asking for a friend here. Is it not slumming around to keep making fucking excuses for a man who can't get out of his own way and keeps committing crime after crime after crime after crime? Just asking. Just asking, you know? I'm in my own Discord. Wait, No, I'm in my Discord server. Always in my Discord server. Although I haven't checked it in a couple of days because I have been super duper busy. But I would never. And you're right? You agree to disagree on something that you don't agree with. We're talking about people jumping the entire line of going on to attack people in their personal lives and something they did fucking 15 years ago. Because that's not normal. That's not fucking normal. It is not normal to do that shit. It's just fucking not, you know? It is exhausting, you know? But that's the problem. People do respect him. Respect him for what? For what? What are we respecting here? You know? I really think that people need to start figuring out why people are doing something. You know? Why? Why are these people protecting him? Hey, Matt. Why? Is there a reason? I'm sure there is. I'm sure there is. The reason would be they need that audience. They need his audience to still watch them and support their channels. That's why. It's not okay. It's not fucking okay. We are creators. We should be held to a higher standard.
to our audience. They depend on us to tell them the truth, not to fucking lie, not to gaslight them, and certainly not to protect somebody who's committing crimes and harming people. And it's not like he's just harmed one person. Let's fucking be real here. It's not just one-off, one mistake. This is something he's been doing for 10 goddamn years, hurting person after person after person after person after person. Come on. You know? I mean, that's a big step, right? If you think Karen got off because of Aiden, then what does that say? You know what I mean? Like, I think people are almost there, but they're just like fall short of it a little bit, you know? But that Wallflower just hit the nail on the head right there, right? When your friends pick on you, they're not your friends. And I have seen so many people who are supposed friends to people turn on them in a fucking heartbeat when they think they're going to get clout from a YouTuber like Aiden or, Will or Nurse Kim. Oh no, you're bad now. You watched Twisted Tragedies. You're a terrible person now. We don't want you in our community. Bye-bye. I welcome people from Free Karen Read as long as they don't come here to troll. And we're not here to rehash Karen's case because I'm very clear on my stance on that case. It has not changed just because I allow people to coexist and not fight each other. My opinion doesn't change. It's not going to change, right? It's not going to. But I know as a human, we can coexist without fighting each other and harming each other and hurting each other's real lives. That's not okay. That's not normal. But you shouldn't have to. That's the point. You shouldn't have to get thicker skin. You shouldn't have to, You shouldn't have to. People shouldn't be treating each other that way. You know what I mean? Agree to disagree and call it a day. I mean, I don't know why that's so hard for people. When people want to argue with me about Karen's case and they're just not seeing it the way I'm seeing it, let's just agree to disagree at that point. Right? Let's agree to disagree because I'm not going to change my mind because I have more information than probably anyone else on the subject, except a very few people, privately and publicly. So I'm not going to change my stance, but agree to disagree, Oh, but yeah, that's the problem though. That's exactly the problem, Wallflower, is they'll just keep coming and coming and coming and coming and coming. And because they're trying to affect your mental health until you go away or shut up. Believe me, they've been doing it to me since 2023. I know exactly what you mean, right? Imagine dealing with what you dealt with, Wallflower, on a large scale of every single day for multiple years. I think that gets taxing a little bit, And I agree, Peggy, the same reason they won't release the Epstein list, because it'll incriminate other people. Don't they think if there was something, don't they think Karen would have allowed the entire recording to be released fully? If there weren't things on there that made both Aiden and her look really bad. And there are. So I don't think people put enough thought into that either. Why do you think the entire recording was not released and it was only released in snippets? Those are the snippets that, are the least damaging, Hey, Lisa. It starts to aggravate me, That is not okay. You can't even agree to disagree with some of these people. Okay, well, she's a terrible human too. All she does is kiss Aiden's ass. Let's be real, let's be real. All she does is kiss Aiden's ass. She fully knew about the recording. She fucking sat there and lied to everyone and then kissed Aiden's ass afterwards. Still made excuses for him. All she cares about is being in the sort of inner turtle circle. I don't know why people always want to have that sort of clout of wanting to be in the inner circle of a YouTuber. I promise you it's not that fun, okay? It's actually very stressful and very hectic, and always there's something to do, okay? I promise you. My whole goal with my audience is to make sure everybody feels like they're in the inner circle. There's no inner circle to be in. You're all in it. You're all in it, right? So there's no reason to want to, harm each other to get closer to me. And I've seen it. I've seen it happen over and over and over. She did know. She knew. She knew. She said that ahead of time. She knew. It's a fucking lie. She knew. She 100% knew. Like, we're talking about the woman who went to the courthouse to get arrested on purpose to think she was going to change the way it worked. I mean, not saying that we're dealing with the sharpest tools in the shed here, people. They have no idea what you have walked through in your life. They haven't walked a mile in my shoes or yours. Yet they love to sit on the top of their ivory tower, put their judgmental glasses on, and judge everyone else. Well, why don't they start taking their own inventory? Where's the integrity? Where is it? Where's the honesty? Where's the accountability? The responsibility? These are the same people that are pointing fingers at the Alberts and the McCabe's and their children to take responsibility and accountability for crimes that they are not charged with and didn't commit, and calling people names and following people. These are the same people we're talking about here, okay? That demand, the other day, and got on a show, I have the clip, and demanded everyone take accountability and responsibility for being, quote, ratchets. He's the king ratchet. When has he ever taken a little bit of responsibility or accountability, or even apologized, or even retracted a false statement? Not once, not ever, because he doesn't know how. It's really that simple. The man does not know how. And it's unfortunate, but it's true. And it irks the fuck out of me. Nobody can tell you what you should or shouldn't do. It's your choice, right? It's your choice. But I do believe that we can coexist as one large community without tearing each other apart like fucking animals. It's gross. You can say that again, Christy. You can totally say that again. It just doesn't exist in places, You don't. We are very open-minded, They want you to be exactly like them. They want you to follow along and get in line. They want you to get in line. They want you to do what they do or else. That's half of the problem, right? This is what they've been doing for all that time. For all that time. It's sad. Yeah, I mean, I could technically have a private Discord server. I choose really not to. That's exactly why I don't like that whole private. I have a locked one that would be just for mods, which we have literally never used. But there is one locked portion of my Discord for mods and admins, but it's never actually been used because we just text each other, so there's no point, But no, exactly. It might have strong opinions, but nobody's mean-spirited or mean-hearted. No one here, wants to sit there and I've seen exactly what we're talking about, Wallflower, these secret, and it's unfortunate. But again, do you see how it fosters that kind of hate, right? It's get in line and do what we do and trash the people we trash, or we don't want you here, or we're going to jump on your bandwagon. You disagree with one thing we say, and we're going to attack, and keep going and keep going and keep going and keep pushing and keep pushing and keep pushing. That's not normal. That's not okay. Nobody has the right to do that. No one. There are things called boundaries, and you're allowed to put them up. And I wholeheartedly suggest that you do, because even I, at times have a problem saying no to helping someone, because I have been through a lot in my life, and I know what it's like to go through a lot of shit and feel like shit and not have living family to help. I know what that's like. I know what it's like to feel like you're on an island by yourself. And I don't ever want anyone to feel like that, ever. But there have to be boundaries. Even when you're helping someone, there's a limit. There's a freaking limit. There's a limit to what you can do and what you can't do. And for your own, mental capacity and your own, sanity, you have to put up those boundaries with people. And if they don't respect those boundaries, you have every right to not engage with them. and it doesn't even matter if they're family. Toxic, you don't have to have them in your life, family or not. Family, friends, children, it doesn't. Toxicity is something you do not have to deal with in your life. I choose to put these boundaries up now, and again, even I have an issue sometimes with saying no to helping someone, and I agree with Matt. There's a lot of sad people here that have not a lot going on in their lives. It makes them like feel good to hurt other people. They're so caught up in this Twitterverse, really, that they think they're in like a Twitter mafia, and then they start realizing what they co-signed way later on. And that's when I get those messages. That's when I get the messages of people realizing that they absolutely were in a cult and that they've harmed other people with the things that they've said and the things that they've done, and that they didn't actually even realize how cultish it was until they were out of it. Then they started looking back on, well, why did I do this? And why did I do that? And these are not things that I would normally do or say, but I did, and without question. But why? And you have to ask yourself why. Because I think there's a lot of people starting to question why the fuck they follow him at this point. Why? Why follow him? What does he bring to the table other than hate and anger? Spite. He's a very spiteful person. Ooh, I would love to move to Ireland. That would be amazing. You could do the same thing. Your choice. Whatever you feel like is best for you. And I used to tell, a very close friend of mine the same thing. I said, whatever choice you make, right? It needs to be what's best for you and your kids and your family, not anyone else. Not any. Hey, Visa. Nice to see you. Oh, I've never been to Ireland, but I heard it was gorgeous. I didn't do this in the beginning of the show because I thought it was important to sort of get some of this stuff I needed to say out of the way. And I've been in a bad habit of not doing it at the beginning of the show, even though I should, because it kind of sets the tone for the entire show. But I did right before I went live at about 10 o'clock. I got an email, and it was a donation from someone on PayPal, and it was from, I'm just saying Nikki. It was from Nikki, and she said, "Keep going. Love the work you're doing." And she sent a $10 donation, and I appreciate that, Nikki. Thank you. Because as you guys know, anything that comes in, when I'm not live, I like to read when I am live. So that one came on before I was live this morning, but I wanted to read that. And if you want to support the channel, we are a very small channel, so we need your help, right? We can't do this without the help of all of you. Right, those truth bombs, because that's what we call our donations, they're truth bombs. Those truth bombs are super important here because I'm not a channel of 30,000 subscribers, right? I'm not. I'm a very small channel. We don't have sponsors. There's no, network overlords. There's no other creators. We depend on their sort of, their viewers to come to us, right? Like some of the Sewer Squad. We don't have that, right? We are just us, and we've built brick by brick by brick, and we're still growing. We gained, I think, 5 subscribers yesterday. That was pretty good for a day, and 300 for the month, which is pretty good. But nonetheless, we're still a very tiny channel and a very large pond, so we need your help. So there's a million different ways that you could help support the channel and drop a truth bomb. There's now Venmo that works today. It wasn't working the last 2 days. But now it works. We have Venmo, we have PayPal, we have Cash App, we have Revolut, we have Chime. We have a link you can use your credit or debit. It's in the description of the video. It's pinned to the top of the chat there. And you can enter any amount you want. You just click on the link and you enter any amount you want. And you can use your credit or debit. And you can enter any sort of message you want that I can read. You can remain anonymous. Just write, do you want to be anonymous? You just write A or ANON, and I'll know that you want to remain anonymous. And on Cash App, there's like a little smiley face with a $ tongue. And you just use that emoji if you want to be anonymous. And I have no problem just reading it as this person is anonymous. So without you guys' help, though, this is impossible, right? I depend weekly on all of you to help support the channel so that I can
keep this train moving. And I appreciate it more than you guys know, because there are costs associated with it. As a matter of fact, today I have to pay StreamYard. And so today I have to decide whether I'm going to move over to Restream or pay StreamYard again. That's something I have to look into after the show, because they're expensive nonetheless. But we got a lot of buffering that goes on with StreamYard. I'm not a fan of it. I'm not a fan of the constant buffering that they got going on. So, we'll see whether I try to do a Restream or stay with StreamYard. We'll see. But any and all support is greatly appreciated from all of you. I'm also going to be putting out some members only shorts today and tomorrow. So if you're not a member to the channel, make sure that you're a member. Get your membership. If you have an Apple phone, we have this little QR code in the corner that Murder by Maestro made us so kindly. Maestro made it for us, and you can put me on your TV and scan it with your Apple phone, and it'll bring you right where you can pick a tier. We have 3 or 4 tiers of membership, all the way from Twisted Trooper to Twisted Chief, with different amounts. Or you can do a super chat or a super sticker. You can gift memberships to other people. You can do all of those things, of course. Any and all of those things. And we also, like I said, we have an Amazon wish list. That's always helpful too, But absolutely, 100%, we always need any and all support that anybody can give. You go and share the video, hit the like button. That's always super helpful, right? And being here and watching is super helpful. Is there a limit on YouTube? I wonder that. Is there like a limit on like how much you can spend on YouTube, or is it like a bank thing? Because I heard somebody the other day say the same thing, and it wasn't you. They're like, oh, I have my limit. It was on a different channel I was watching, and I was like, I wonder if it's like a bank limit, or if it's like, does YouTube only let you do like X, Y, and Z? I always wondered that. Of course. There's no pressure. If you cannot, of course you cannot. You can share, you can hit the like button, you can be here and watch. So all those things are very helpful nonetheless. I appreciate any and all. So I heard somebody say it the other day, and I just wondered to myself, like, I wonder if YouTube only allows you to do like, 50 whatever. You know what I mean? Like 50 different transactions. And then like, boom, you can't do it from that card anymore or something. I have a $10 donation, and it says, thanks. Thank you, TT. I appreciate that very, very much. Thank you for your donation to the channel. Yeah, see, I just was like wondering. Somebody else said it the other day, so I was wondering if YouTube had like you're only allowed to do X, Y, or Z. I know YouTube's kind of a pain in the behind when it comes to things like the super chats, the super stickers, and super thanks, which I didn't know existed. I got my second super thanks from TT actually a couple of days ago, and so now when you're not live anymore and people are writing comments, they can actually buy like it's like a super chat or a super sticker, but when you're not live anymore, as they're writing a comment, and it's called a super thanks. And that was my second one I've ever gotten. I got one months back, but I forgot those even existed. Super thanks. It's kind of cool. It's definitely kind of cool. And I'm not monetized on like Facebook or X or anything. So it's just YouTube. I mean, the things that they want you to hit to even be monetized on Facebook and Twitter are bonkers. Like the numbers you have to be monetized there are freaking bonkers to me. Absolutely freaking bonkers. Aw. I have another $7 from my friend Kel, and she said, you're doing great work. Thanks, Kel. Appreciate you, my friend. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. It's not quite that much, but yeah, they take a giant chunk. I feel like they could do better. YouTube could do better by their people by doing like taking less, Let's drop them bombs for these truth bombs that just came in. One for Cal, truth bomb, and one for TT. Matter of fact, one for Nicole from this morning. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just saying, oh,
Aiden better watch out. Silverados. Silverados. He's looking out the window. Silverados. Here comes the Silverados. Silverados are coming. Goddamn Silverados coming to arrest his ass. Imagine living your life peeking out the window like a crackhead waiting for the cops to come. I mean, that's got to be taxing. But here's an idea. Don't commit crimes, right? And you don't have to worry about when they might come get you. I'm just saying. You don't have to worry about that if you don't do anything wrong. So, I haven't had a chance to just scroll through Twitter the last day or so because I've been running around doing all sorts of things. But I oftentimes will have people obviously send things to me. And the stuff that I'm seeing, to me, it's insane to me. Like this whole, you set this person up, you set that person up. I'm tired of the you set them up bullshit, right? Everyone's set up. Now, here's the reality of the situation. Aiden's not set up, okay? Nobody is, quote, setting him up. He does all this shit of his own free will and volition. Nobody's telling him to do it. He does it on his own, okay? Then when he gets caught, he does the good old, I was roped into it, or I was set up. Want to know why he has been claiming setups for at least 10 years now? Now let's remember, most people didn't start following him till the Karen Reed trial, so they don't know the history. Fill you in on the history here. Please hold for 1 second. And there is a history. The amount of times this man is claimed to be set up in the last 10 years is absurd. Usually it's when he gets caught doing something that he shouldn't have been doing. Unfortunately. Then he claims to set up until he's actually caught. It's unfortunate. Let's get this one on. So, for all of you who haven't seen some of these receipts, incoming. Okay, this is pre-Karen Reed case, remember. This is before the case existed, okay? Good morning, Deidre. I think you're right, Christy, that zero integrity must go hand in hand with zero accountability. It just kind of does. He puts himself in these scenarios, and then when he can't take accountability, he claims a setup. It's the same old song and dance he's been doing for, well, a very, very, very long time. Let's get this down here and then add this here. Good morning, Deidre. Feeling better, my friend, I hope. Let's see. Okay. Again, remember, this is pre Karen Reed case, okay? I am getting a pimple underneath my nostril right here, and it is driving me absolutely bonkers because it hurts. All right, so this is when he used these screenshots of his own kids to fabricate evidence to court to set someone else up. And again, this is why he always claims he's set up. It's because he's set other people up numerous times to get his petty revenge on people who told the truth about him. Okay?
Let's go on to the next topic. Let's talk about Ryan Waters. I'm sure Ryan's going to love.
And by the way, Ryan Waters has an active lawsuit against Aiden for like $5 million or something like that because of all of this.
Of this.
20th. He streamed it November 20th, 2021.
So Ryan, apparently, it came to my attention that he was also posting threats about my children.
He's actively lying right here in this clip. Right? I just want you guys to see how easy it is for him to sit there and lie. I do know that he mentioned if Donna said anything about him for people to send him screenshots, which is so absurd to me because all Donna ever says is that she's fucking afraid, but that she is going to stick up for herself as she has the right to do. You know? I'll back it up so you can hear it a little better. He says that someone brought to his attention that Ryan Waters was using pictures of his children as a threat towards him. Now, let's remember, while he is telling his audience this, he knows he's lying through his teeth. Okay? Thank you, Emily, though. He's lying through his teeth. Literally lying through his teeth. All right? And he knows it. So I just want you to see how easy it is for the man to sit there and lie to people about what someone else supposedly did to him and why they're supposedly bad when he knows what these people are going to do. Okay? So I'll back it up again so you can hear it again.
Let's go on to the next topic. Let's talk about Ryan Waters. I'm sure Ryan's going to love this. So Ryan, apparently, it came to my attention that he was also posting threats about my children. Somebody sent me some screenshots about that. I need to find out more info on that, but that's pretty fucked up.
Now, I gotta pause that because they play music. I have to mute it because they play music in this space and like right here, and I'll get a strike. But essentially, okay, this is 2 days before he does that live stream. So on the 21st, I think it said he does live stream November 19th. This is him, Clarence Woods Emerson, same account he's had forever. This is him. I have an idea. What idea? He shows the pictures of his kids, and the person says, oh, do I need to, quote, find those? Does he spell your name right? LOL. I love how I don't even have to explain this to you. Said, yeah, he does because he sued me so many times. Okay, so again, this is days before. Days before. Okay. Hey, R, thank you. His court date is the 5th. So, like, here's the, like, again, he sits there and blatantly lies to his audience, knowing he's lying, pretending like it's some giant deal, right? Something that he, just found out about. He actively asks this person, right, to find this fake stuff he's putting in using a fake Ryan Waters Facebook account that he made, all right, to find this stuff so they can act as if Ryan threatened his children, so that he can later bring this into court and say, look, he threatened my children. He's a psycho, right? Lies to his audience the entire time, over and over and over. This is what we're talking about. I got another $10 donation from PayPal, and it says, I love this. I love this. It says, never give up. Best YouTube channel. I will try not to. I appreciate that. Anonymous, because it's not under a name. But no, I would never tell somebody to go die in a hole. That's just so crazy that anybody would say that. That's kooky to me. That's disgusting, really. I would say, if they're trolling, I'd say, out you go. Cult HQ is calling. But I would never, ever tell someone something like that. That's crazy. But thank you for your $10 donation. We'll drop that truth bomb explosion. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You all know how to donate and how to support, and we can't do it without you. We really can't. The last 2 days have been a little rough, and maybe it's because Venmo was down and because some of the other apps were down. But usually my Sunday show is the decent show. Oh, that was you? No worry. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you. Yeah, not even in my mind, not even a little bit, not even a little. I would never even think of saying anything like that. All right, so back to this, right? Let me go forward with it. So 2 days, right, after he writes this and sets this whole scenario up, this is the rest of it.
So he's telling her to go and message him privately so he can screenshot that and show people, right? Saying, look what I found, Aiden. This person is threatening your children, right? He is actively telling someone to set Ryan Waters up, and he does later on bring this into court. Fake evidence. It's not the first time, and it won't be the last time he does it either. Okay? So here we go. Ready? She said, you should have a few people send it to you. He said, it doesn't matter about whatever this was. And he said, yes, good idea. She said, at different times. He said, who can I trust? As in, who else can I have send it to me, right? That I can trust that's not going to out me. And she's like, I'll wait until early morning and I'll do it from her other fake accounts. Yeah, I've seen these unredacted. And this right here is the fake account name that she has, right? So yeah, you guys take care of that for me. He's like, yeah, you guys do it for me. Did you see what Ryan posted then deleted? Hell, you could post it OnlyFans. He has the Turtleboy OnlyFans. And then here's a picture of it. And she said, I can do that. He said, what? Don't put your address on OnlyFans. That nutcase. So this is Laura. Just a couple months ago, I lost track. She said, this sounds way more recent. Only we knew about the fake Ryan profile of the threats he put in the comments. I specifically sent a message with a screenshot that said, hey, look at this. And so here's Aiden saying Ryan suspects they were fake. So is that yet another thing I have to worry about, she said. He said, why would you be? I'm the one who did it. She said, I don't know. He said, think of all the shit they could have on me if they had access. I'm not letting them, I'm not letting it get to that or something like that. All right, we got to go back a tiny bit and unmute it because they were playing music for that one, so I can't. But again, this is him lying, right? Just lying straight through his teeth like he always fucking does.
Oh, what's going to come next? You never know what's going to come next.
Let's go on to the next.
You never know. Now let's remember, this is what he said, right? This is what he says in the beginning of the video. 2 days after all those messages where he sets up this entire scenario.
Let's go on to the next topic. Let's talk about Ryan Waters. I'm sure Ryan's going to love
2021 and 2022.
So Ryan, apparently, it came to my attention that he was also posting threats about my children. Somebody sent me some screenshots about that. I need to find out more info on that, but that's pretty fucked up.
That's pretty fucked up. Right? So, again, actively lying 2021 into 2022, right? My son is having a terrible time working for Audible, an Amazon company. You know, Amazon sometimes can be a hard place to work for. Hey, Benny. Hello. Definitely hit the thumbs up button. We can appreciate that. Definitely can appreciate that. It's just insane to me. It's insane. If this is the stuff that he had been actively doing for years prior to this, right? And then the hackening brought out all of this. This is not the first or the last time he tried to bring fake evidence into court. And again, he later on did bring fake evidence into court numerous times. Okay? This is the bonkers shit, you guys.
Yeah.
Can't play the music. So this is him talking about the Brian Walker page and asking the person to get him the stuff on that Brian Walker. He specifically said, you can make fun of my kids, it doesn't bother me. Yeah, that's bullshit. We all know that's bullshit. Anything you say doesn't bother me? Really?
interesting you would say something like that, considering he sat there and rattled off dates that Kara had written something on my live stream or on Kate's page or on Kim Fair's Twitter. He literally rattled off to her, well, on this date you said this to Kim, and on this date you said this to Elise, and on this date you did this, and on this date you did this. So why do you care what a girl that you haven't seen or dated in a long time is doing in her life right now? Why do you give a shit to know the exact dates if she said something to someone you don't like? That's psychotic. That's obsessed. Then he does an entire stream. You want to claim she's obsessed? Doesn't that seem like you're obsessed, bud? I'm just asking for a friend. She's not keeping track of who you're talking to and when. That's fucking weird. Again, projection. It's what the man does best. Let's remember that. It's what he does best. So this is him basically asking for this stuff. And this person is asking if he's still going in LG, which is Leah way back when. I thought that stuff was over. Did something else happen? He said, I'm not. Someone shared that on the OnlyFans page. Right? They dedicate every second of every day to me. You should see them on Twitter. He said they still do 5-hour streams about me. You hear her in that audio. So, okay, this goes back to however long ago where he's doing audio of people. Okay? She didn't do anything. And that's the sad part, Wallflower. She did nothing. She did nothing but exist, right? He's rehashing everything he wants to rehash about any ex-girlfriend he's had. He feels the need to take his anger and his no content ass having out on other people. And plenty of people ask that same question. Why? For what reason? What is she? This came out of nowhere for her. Like, what the fuck do you, like, leave her alone, dude. It speaks volumes about him, and yet still people are sitting there clapping it on like seals. It's disgusting. Like, do you guys not realize what you're clapping on? They think it's just all fun and games. Well, it's fun and games until it's you, right? It's fun and games until it's your loved one. It's fun and games till it's your aunt, uncle, sister, friend, right? Yeah, they do. They join him in this nonsensical tearing apart of other people's lives. And what I find funny is people like the Glarer think it's funny and sort of jump on the bandwagon. But that man's personal life is just a big dumpster fire, just like fucking Aiden's. You know, people who have personal lives that are dumpster fires definitely shouldn't be doing streams tearing apart other people's fucking lives 24/7 for 10 years straight. That's insane to me. There's a big difference between calling out his fucking behavior and doing streams on multiple people tearing apart their lives. I would fucking never. That is horrible. 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 Not even just, he's laughing. He thinks it's so funny. Ah ha ha. He says the next day, I got a clip of it someone sent me on his little bus stop thing because he's so afraid the Silverados are going to pull up and arrest him that he still does these bus stop lives like a fucking weirdo. And I mean, he doesn't realize they'll just wait until you hang up, or they will just arrest you right there, whether you're streaming or not. They really don't care. He seems to think that like streaming is somehow going to stop them from arresting him. It's not. It's not going to. You know, it's disgusting. And so he gets on that bus stop live and says how it makes him so happy, and it's so funny that he did that to her, and her begging makes him laugh. That's deplorable and disgusting. And people should really, I only saw like 100 people unsubscribe to his Twitter, at least right after that. And I'm like, really? Really? That's disgusting. That's just utterly disgusting. You know, and that's the sad part, Deidre. You're probably right. You know, they're the ones that take the video of the crash instead of jumping in to help the injured. I almost, you know, me and Ashley stopped for someone in the fast lane who had launched their car over the barrier and into this ditch down where there was water and trees, and we're got our hazards on in the fast lane. In the friggin' fast lane. Had to stop. This guy's waving people down and everybody's just driving past until we stop. Right now I got to try to get out of the car. I'm jumping over the barrier because he kept saying his wife. So now here I am going down, you know, down into the ditch to make sure his wife's not stuck in that car. And I get like halfway down the little hill there and he's like, no, nobody's in there. I'm like, you're sure? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, well, you keep saying your wife. And he's like, well, my wife's going to be mad. Like, okay. Oh, I'm not concerned about whether she's going to be mad. I'm concerned if there's anybody in the fucking vehicle. And not 1 second did I think, let me pull out my camera and live stream this. No, I'm more concerned about making sure everybody's okay, right? Like, I want to make sure nobody's injured or they're bleeding, and I could help stop the bleeding before EMS gets there. Like, whatever I could do to help, you know? But this is a man, as I'm showing you at right now, he's been doing this for years. This is pre-Karen Reed. This is before, okay? Before. So this person asks if any of the stuff they're talking about him is true. And he goes, is what true? She says, I don't know. There's a lot of stuff on there. Is any of it true? He's saying they're screenshotting my private conversations because Chrissy gave them access to her account, but no, generally the spin they're putting on everything is untrue, which is false. Everything was true is his personal messages. So she calls him out and basically says the screen recordings are real though. He said, which one? There's nothing even bad on there. Because that's in his mind, nothing's bad. Nothing's super bad, right? What can I do to help? Now, even after this person starts questioning if some of those things are true, which would be horrible, they're down here saying, what can I do to help? I mean, that just tells you what kind of cult these people live in, even long before Karen Reed. Oh, nothing, just ignore them. Although I would love for more people to hear Leah saying that's horrific. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? What screen recordings were you talking about? Now he wants to know. Said on that Twitter you sent me, I'll find it again later. I already closed it out. Some of that stuff looks really bad. He said, like what? No offense, but you got to be literally retarded to fall for anything on there. I'd look more carefully. Not a single thing on there looks bad. She said, prefacing things with no offense doesn't make them less offensive. She's right. So he said, I know you're not dumb. I'd look at the tweets again. Not a single thing on there looks bad. If you can't see how stupid they are, look at it again. So she says, what about the stuff about your kids in the tub? I feel like we talked about that when it was happening, and now I'm confused. He said, I've addressed it like 20 times. I did 3 live streams on it. If you want me to explain again, I will. So she's like, all right, please do. Right? He's like, okay, I'll give you the Reader's Digest. I was 100% convinced I was hacked for a number of reasons. So were the state police and FBI. No, they weren't. As of now, we know I wasn't hacked. It was all just Chrissy spending months mind fucking me. No, she wasn't spending months mind fucking you. You started threatening her. Okay? You made her commit wiretapping and then basically laughed in her face and in private message to other people and were like, ha 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 ha, but I didn't wiretap. Ha ha ha. Then he went on to tell the police he had no idea that she did it, even though he told her to. It shows it all in the messages. So, I mean, the man is just a pathological liar. He can't tell the truth about fucking anything. All right. So he said, I believed I was hacked. I realized I had previously sent pictures and videos of my kids on Facebook Messenger to myself. I do this a lot. If you need me to explain why, feel free to ask. One of those videos was my kids in the tub splashing cute stuff. I realized that the hackers could see that and immediately screenshotted myself, sending that message to myself and brought it to the Holden police. Why would you screenshot sending the message to yourself? Because again, and this is where she starts to catch on, it doesn't make sense, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, the reason he did it was he did it to send it to the person to say, ha 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 ha, now you're going to be like charged with child pornography. That's not, you can't send a message to someone with pictures of your own kids in a bathtub and then say to someone else, you're going to get charged with child porn. You sent it, you dumb. This is how stupid he is. This is how dumb he is when it comes to law. He doesn't seem to understand that if you send pictures to someone else, they don't get in trouble for child pornography. You do. You dumb fuck. Right? You dumb fuck. So he said, he brought it to the Holden police. While this was going on, I was being taunted and harassed with burner numbers, claiming to be the hackers inside my computer. I told them I'd gone to the police and gave them the screenshot of me sending myself the image of the kids in the tub and warned them that they were in trouble for that. So he sent them, he admits, he sent it to them of his kids in the tub and said, hey, you're going to be in trouble now. But they didn't have it previously. So make it make sense. Kate was the person I was texting, and she attempted to turn this around on me by telling the police I send her kitty porn. Well, I mean, that's what you tried to do, bro. That's what you tried to do to them. What did you think was going to happen? Huh. He said, that's it. That's the whole story. Anyone dumb enough to believe Kate Peter is someone I have no interest in pleasing. Unfortunately, though, it was like, he's a liar, and that story was true. So He said, it's all in the police report, which they conveniently never posted. Clear as day, nothing nefarious happened here. No 51A, no DCF, nothing. Making these accusations as a notorious child abuser. Okay, none of that is relevant. Not saying you are, but she's counting on dumb people. So this person said, I get that. What about the stuff about a fake account to make evidence for court using your kids? That guy that killed a dog, I don't remember exactly. I'll have to look again when I get home. He said that was all Chrissy's doing. Does it matter, though? Ryan Waters beats women and kills dogs. Also, does it matter if you set someone up because you believe they did something based on no evidence, just based on, rumors? Sure. So this person said, a received message? Chrissy orchestrated the whole thing. No, she didn't. So he sends a screenshot, right? She sends a screenshot. They forgot this one. She said, from the text, though, you sent the initial message and told them to send it to you, which he did. She absolutely freaking did. That's just like sick shit. That's sick shit. Okay. He said my privacy is being violated here. Well, he has no problem violating everyone else's privacy who writes him any letters. Any texts or any DMs or phone calls that he wiretaps. Anything like that. He doesn't care about anybody else's privacy. Only his. He didn't care about Lindsay's, that's for sure. He only cared about his own, right? Cared about his own. Doesn't seem to give two fucks about anyone else's privacy, for sure. Let's be very clear here, okay? So, says, yeah, well, exactly, Wallflower. They're brainwashed to think all this is okay. They're like, oh, he can do this. Like, no, this isn't not okay. This is before Karen Reed's case, right? So imagine he's doing this stuff before Karen Reed's case. He's gotten worse. What do you fucking think he's doing behind closed doors this entire time? You think he's some angel that just does investigative journalism? No. This is the stuff that he is still doing to this very day, okay? These are private messages with a woman who earned my trust by pretending to care about my mother with pancreatic cancer. No, she did care until you got her into trouble and then threw her under the bus so you wouldn't get in trouble. If someone posted private messages with you, I wouldn't even read them because it would be violating you. Now, that's such a bold-faced lie, and we all know it. Imagine lying like that with a straight face, no matter what you were saying in the messages. That's just a bold-faced lie. He's a fucking liar. Come on now. I wouldn't even read them. The whole thing was Chrissy's idea. I just read you guys the text messages where he asks her to do it. The messages previous to this where he shows the picture and says, can you find this for me? Can you find this for me? It was not her idea. It was his idea. It was his idea. So he's now still trying to pin it on Chrissy Yakomowski when in reality it was his idea, and now we have text to show, which is the ones I was showing you guys previous to these ones. I get all of that, she said. My concern here is that seems deceptive. Submitting false evidence to court is an actual crime. He said, then why am I not being charged? Well, maybe they didn't know it was false evidence, you dumb fuck. Judge seems to think otherwise. Yeah, the judge thinks it's okay for you to submit false evidence. No. Ryan already tried using this blog in court. He was laughed at. No serious person takes it seriously. No, because you're a fucking liar. And you lied your way out of it. Like, me and Chrissy spoke privately. Those messages are not now all gone because she convinced me I was hacked and told me to delete all the messages so her naked pictures won't show up. You didn't show me that. The screenshot you sent showed her doing what you asked them to do. You said, all right, I have an idea. Like, come on. You know what I mean? Then he tries to gaslight. I can show you what Chrissy talked me into erasing. Nobody wants to see somebody else's naked pictures. And this is the whole whataboutism. Well, she had naked pictures that I could have posted, but she made me delete them. Blah, 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 blah. She played dumb. You know what I mean? Like, come on. She doxed Lauren. No, she didn't. then she wrote, you admitted you did it though, and with a screenshot, right? Then he said, now he admits, right? Lying this whole time, then he admits, does it matter? That was never for the public to see anyway. And she said, yes, it matters. Crimes are all right as long as the public doesn't find out about them, question mark. What happened to everything Turtleboy stood for, question mark. He said, I don't feel comfortable putting this in writing. Who was hurt in this? Who's the victim? Turtleboy stands up for people who have been hurt or wronged by criminals. No, the fuck he does not. That is the biggest bold-faced lie I have ever heard in my life, okay? She said, doesn't matter who he is or what he did. Submitting false evidence to a court of law is illegal. What happened to integrity? Bingo. He said, oh, really? Then why am I not being charged? Like, that's his whole argument. Why am I not being charged? Because they didn't know, you fucking idiot. How would I know if you are not? He'd say, I'd know. He tried. Didn't work. You admitted to it. Don't treat me like a moron. I know very well how slowly the justice system works. You have also complained about that to me. He said, I know you're not a moron. He said, this is really bad, Aiden. He said, but I'm not being charged with a crime. And you should ask yourself, why? What's bad? You had no right to read any of those messages. No one did. So now his argument is nobody should have read them to see that he's a liar. Nobody should read them. Out of loyalty to the cult and to Turtleboy, you should not read things that paint him in a light that is bad and as a liar because he does not want you to know about them. So shame on you. Victim blaming once again, Darbo. I am the victim because you read my personal messages that were put out to the public to show I'm a fucking liar. Like, that's his whole argument right now. Same argument he's putting out right now basically about the wiretapping. Like, come the fuck on with it. Come the actual fuck on with it. You know? And I laid these out before, but I felt like too many people are still buying into this bullshit. You know? It's crazy. Okay, hold on. It just doesn't make sense to me how people are still totally okay. So, you know, the court is the victim, she basically tells them. And he's like, court isn't a victim. And she's basically says, like, morals. He tries to call her. She won't pick up the phone. It's a whole rigmarole. We went through it, you know, a week and a half ago or whatever. And then he goes on to threaten her. We'll do it your way, Shannon. You think I don't know your last name? She's like, I don't care. It's like, you want your father and brother dragged into this? Okay. She's like, why would you attack my family after you admitted your crimes to me? Now, this is what he does, okay? This is what he does. Make no mistake about it. He doesn't care if he's in the wrong. He wants to attack someone else, so they'll be quiet, okay? Oh, where's this one? I did go over the flip stuff, but is this new in the last hour? Thank you for sending that to me. But he goes on to threaten Shannon's family here, okay? After he admits to his crimes and then tries to lie about them, of course, he threatens her basically to try to get her to shut up about it, not to tell anybody, you know. Have a good day, Melissa. All of that. You know what I'm saying? It's from 7. Why didn't I see it then? I didn't go down far enough. I must not have gone down. We'll do it your way, Shannon. You know, he basically says to her, like, we'll do it the hard way or the easy way, which is what he says to everyone. Everyone. He's done that same scenario. Oh, we'll do it the hard way or the easy way. I'll make you Turtleboy famous. Do you know what I can do to you? Do you know who I am? It's the same fucking 5 or 6 things that he says to everyone, you know? So he, you know, she's like, why would you attack my family after you admitted to your crimes to me? And this is his threat. I'm giving you an out right now. Take it or leave it, but I will drag your family into this like you did my 3-year-old son. Now, mind you, she didn't do anything to his son, right? She's talking about these pictures he used of his own children. So now he's turning it around and trying to sort of paint this narrative of, well, you went after my kids, so it's good for me to go after you. He's using whatever excuse he can to go after her because now she knows about his crimes, right? So now she has to be the worst person in the world. He has to destroy her because she knows the truth, right? Knows the truth. So now it's time to destroy this person who knows the truth about him so nobody will listen. Nobody will take her seriously. And, you know, he can just blame everyone else like he always does. So she says, you sent the video of your son to your mistress, which he did. He said, I did, and then I exploited it, and then you exploited it for the world to see over and over again. So I'm giving you an out here to spare your family the shame and humiliation. Shame and humiliation of what? If you're interested in hearing my proposal, let me know. If not, we'll do it the fun way. We can talk about the fake dead kid, all of it. Mind you, there is no fake dead kid. She actually lost a child, okay? So this is what I mean. This is the stuff that he just says that isn't true, okay? This is the stuff he says that just is not true. We can talk about the fake. There is no fake dead kid. Okay, there isn't. There's no fake anything. He says that because he knows that's a narrative that he's going to put out there for people to read, right? And then they'll just believe him. And this is how he hurts people. This is his petty revenge because somebody knew the truth about a crime he committed and he did not want it out there. So his only option is to destroy this person and their quote credibility by lying about them and spreading lies and spreading hate and anger. This is years ago. This is pre-Karen Reed now. No, it's not probation violation mode because this is before Karen Reed. I'm just showing the pattern of behavior, you know? Just know what you're getting yourself into if you don't stop. If you don't stop. You want to relive that? So her response is my fake dead son that all of my friends and family were at the birth and funeral of. Nice, Aiden. Nice. What you did to my son, I'll never forget. Try me. Shouldn't do anything other than ask him about his crime, and he lied and then had to admit it because she sent screenshots proving it. So you're going to attack my dead child? Speaking of fake, can we discuss the threats against your children that you admitted to me you faked and submitted to court? If this is the path you want to go down, go for it, she said. He said, okay, let's do it your way then. Yeah, I'm sure your father and brother are going to appreciate this. Let's do it. Malin knows too. You tagged her. He said, my father cried at my son's funeral. That never happened, apparently. I'm sure he knows you're insane. You think he wants his name dragged through the mud on Turtleboy? Doesn't have to be that way. Easy way and a hard way, which is what he says to everyone. There's an easy way and a hard way. Jesus Christ, there's your mom too. I'm sure she'll appreciate you dragging her into this. Do you want to avoid all of this, Shannon? This is his threats. These are his threats. You want to avoid all of it? Basically, shut up. Don't say anything, or I will drag your whole family through the mud, lie about you, write a blog about you, do shows about you if you don't shut up and not tell anybody about my crime that you know that I committed. Do you think he's stopped this behavior since 2021 and 2022 and 2023? I'm going to tell you he hasn't. This behavior he does to this day. Anybody clapping it along like a fucking seal really needs to get some self-awareness, okay? She said, so your attack on me is discrediting my child's existence, attacking how I looked 2 years ago, and attacking my family. You know, like half of what I have. This just seems frivolous. And of course he said, okay, let's do it your way then. She said, sounds good. He said, more fun. You help Brian Waters and Big Black Jeffrey, a rapist. A cop's daughter helped a rapist. A cop's daughter and sister exploited a crying 3-year-old child. Aligned herself with a woman who lost 2 of her kids. Yeah, think of that. You align with Kate fucking Peter. That's how low you are. See, he tries to degrade her and basically like shame her into, you know, not telling the world that he's a fucking liar. And it tries to blackmail people, you know. I don't know if there's any TV supporters here watching. Probably, but they're probably banned from talking in chat. I'll tell you that much. So she said, Kay, is it lower than threatening your own kids with rape and murder? You admitted that to me, remember. She said a cop's daughter helped a domestic abuser who beat a woman and killed his dog. Like, that's his argument, is basically by showing the world who he is, that he's a liar, that he committed crimes, it's helping the people he writes the stories against who did these quote horrific things that he says they did. That's his argument at this point, and why he needs to blackmail this person into doing what he wants them to do, into shutting up. Okay. She said a cop's daughter submitted evidence of broken laws. Oh no. He said, Shannon, no one cares what you have to say. You're irrelevant and have no platform. I thought you were smarter than this. Smarter than this? Smarter than this. He thinks she's smarter than this to not speak out against a serial liar, a serial blackmailer, a serial criminal threats. Okay? She said, Kay. He said, you know what's going to happen when I blog about you? She goes, nothing? Question mark. He goes, okay, it's working out great for Leah and Kate. That's his threat, okay? This is the person. This is the fucking person This is the person people sit there and clap like fucking seals when he talks about someone. Because he thinks you have no idea. Okay. All he cares about is the platform. All he cares about is the money and attention that his followers bring. He doesn't actually care about the followers themselves, right? He cares about the money and the attention that they bring to him and his platform. He's obsessed with numbers. Obsessed. If he loses them, he's obsessed. I don't think that you did. There's plenty of people out there who thought Karen was innocent that never engaged in this type of behavior. Believe me, there's plenty of people. Plenty, right? Most people are better than that, you know? Thank you, Tanya, for your super chat. I appreciate it. Thank you very, very much. My point in all of this is to say, wait a second. Wait a fucking second. Why is that okay? Why is any of that okay? Can't we not wake the fuck up to what you're helping him do? You're helping him hurt people. Behind closed doors, in private, that's the exact same shit he's still doing. And people can say, well, how do you know? How do you know? Because I know. I have the fucking receipts. I know. I know. He hasn't stopped this behavior. You think, when he started Karen Reid, this is the argument that they try to go like, he got better. He was a better, no, not a better person. Didn't get better. He's doing the exact same shit right now that he was doing back then. Just right before the Karen Reid case. Conspiracy dog walk. My point is this, is we can come together as people and say that this is not appropriate. This is not okay. This behavior is not acceptable behavior. We have the power to do that, not everyone else. Thank you, baby. I got room service in Hotel Elise. See that? Room service, people. Thanks, babe. Room service. My point is as people, we don't have to accept that kind of behavior is okay. We don't have to support that. We don't. The problem is too many people do support that, and they make excuses for it. They make excuses for why that behavior is okay. The next excuse is, well, that happened in 2022 and 2023. Yeah, and 2021. Sure did. Yep. Right before the Karen Reid stuff. But that behavior, he then moved on to a new person and another person and another person and another person. All those same threats, okay? All the same blackmail, all the same attacks, all the same. Just change the name to a different person. It's continued until now in 2025, okay? He has still threatened people. In 2025, he has still tried to blackmail people. In 2025, this is not a secret. It's not a secret. It's not secret squirrel, okay? Anybody who thinks that this behavior is okay, that's a fucking problem, okay? We can come together as a community, as one community, to say this is a sorry, we're buffering. We can say, this is abusive behavior. This is not okay. It is not okay. This is not an okay thing to do. We do not support this type of behavior. We will not support someone that sits there and lies to everyone's face and then behind the backs of all of the people who are sending him money to pay his fucking bills, to pay his legal defense fees that he's getting himself into, and to spin this he was set up narrative that he's been spinning for years when he gets caught doing something, while he's actively trying to threaten and blackmail, humiliate, and harass people behind closed doors. When are people going to start waking up? Because I know some already have, but what's it going to take exactly? It shouldn't take it being you or your loved one or your family member or your friend for you to realize that the behavior is not okay. It shouldn't take that for you to realize that your own behaviors are mimicking what he wants you to do. You're a grown adult. Anybody engaging and laughing at someone like that he writes a blog about, like, you have no idea what he does behind closed doors. I'm giving you a glimpse, just a glimpse, just a little glimpse. It's gotten worse since then. You think that's bad? It's gotten worse since then. I can't imagine that any stable, normal adult would be okay with that behavior, would be okay with that kind of shit happening behind closed doors. 10 years. 10 fucking years. 10 years of this abusive behavior. Okay? 10 fucking years. And yes, we need a truth bomb for Tanya's super chat. Thank you, Tanya, for your $2 super chat. We appreciate you. It's sad. It's sad that it's at this point, right? There are people who are waking up to it. Thank you, Tanya. Said, do you think he'll actually see jail? I feel like he'll manipulate the court again, unfortunately. Well, let me drop a truth bomb on you for that one. Yes, I do think he'll see jail. Why? Well, because even if he doesn't, he tries to wriggle his way out of it here in Massachusetts, he's still dealing with New Jersey. And there's probably various other crimes that he could be charged with just the shit they have in his phone, and other people who have stepped forward that they might not have charged him with yet, right? So he's got a multitude of things going on. Now think about it. He's looking at over 105 years here just in Massachusetts alone. Even if he got a quarter of that time, just a quarter, even if he got a quarter of it, that's pretty much, he's what, 44? They give him 10, 15. I mean, that's most of his able-bodied life. Turtleboy would be over at that point, right? Let's be real here. He doesn't know how to do anything else but be a really awful, mean, terrible person. He's a narcissist. He's an egomaniac. He's always the victim. He's a perpetual victim. A perpetual victim. He's always set up, right? He's always set up while he's actively behind closed doors setting other people up. Do you know how many times he has run to a police station and tried to get somebody charged with something using fake evidence? A lot. A lot. Why? Usually it's petty revenge for them speaking out against him. That's usually his thing, you know, is to punish anyone who speaks out and shows people who he really is. You know, it's unfortunate because I know a lot of people really followed him for a long time and thought maybe he was better than this, but he's not. He never has been. That's the difference. Mike from Young Jerks gave him sage advice. Stop this. Stop this shit. Stop this punching down. Stop this ratchet crap. Oh, my audience, that's what they came for, basically. No, it's not. You forget 90% of your audience didn't give a shit about you before Karen Reed. They didn't come for that. Okay? They did not. They came for the Karen Reed case. That's what they came for. Right? And that's what I'm saying. Most people don't even know who he is in real life. No idea who he is. They could care less who he is. His problem is he thinks he's some again, that's the grandiosity of being a narcissist, that sort of grandiose behavior. There's nothing grandiose about him. He's a little fish, a very large one. I'm a little fish and a really large one, right? Yeah, and stayed for the trademark. You can say that again. You know? The fact that people sit there and they laugh it up, they yuck it up when he does this to people, not realizing that behind closed doors, that is what's happening. What I just showed you is what's actually happening. That's a fucking problem. He's willing to use his own family to set people up. Who the fuck does that? Bring fake evidence into court. And let's be clear, that's not the first time. And it wasn't the last time he used fake evidence in court either. What does that tell you? What does that tell you? There are no lines the man's not willing to cross, guys. And let me be clear about that. There are no lines that he's not willing. He will cross all of them and then some. He's got no problem whatsoever with crossing those lines to get what he wants. He will do whatever it takes to get what he wants. He doesn't care how many laws he has to break or how many lines he has to cross. Simply just doesn't care. He simply doesn't fucking care. And that is fucking scary. Some people do revel in just cruelty. And those people, well, they'll never get it. They'll never get it until it's them, right? Then they're going to cry that it was them. You know? Matt's 100% right. He's gone away with it for so long, he takes it for granted. I think he's a sociopath and a narcissist. I think he's probably both, Matt, as you and I both probably know. He's probably both, right? He has no empathy or sympathy for other people. He doesn't give a fuck about anyone but himself. That's that grandiosity, right? He has this sense of self that he is the best person on planet Earth. He's the smartest, best, and most amazing person. As we know that's BS, right? It's bullshit. That's real here. He's talking about selling out the Wilbur like it was fucking Foxfire Stadium. The Wilbur is 1,000 seats. And remember, not everybody went there to see him. Some people went there to see Auntie Deb. Some people were comped tickets. Some people they bought tickets that they raffled off. So, I mean, let's be honest here. It's 1,000 seats total. You should have been able, with 160,000 subscribers, you should have been able to sell out 1,000 seats in like a day. It took weeks. And they still bought some of those to raffle off. Why are we bragging like the Wilbur is, Foxborough Stadium or something? I'm confused. See, that's the thing. He just doesn't stop committing crimes, though. So even if he tried to wriggle his way out of it here in Massachusetts, now he's got to deal with New Jersey. Now he's got other crimes he's committing. You know what I mean? Like can't get out of it. He shoots himself in the foot constantly because he only cares about himself. It's an adrenaline dump, I 100% agree with you, Matt. He only cares about himself. It is. It's an adrenaline dump. It's what it is, an adrenaline dump. It's an actual adrenaline dump. Imagine living your life every day doing this, looking out the window to see if the cops are going to come arrest you. Because you know how many crimes you've committed and you know it's probably only a matter of time before they come and get you. You have to live staring out the window and doing bus stop lives because you're afraid that they're going to come get you. They're coming. They're coming. The Silverados. They're coming. Imagine living your life like that. That's no life to fucking live if you could only stop trying to blackmail and threaten people. If only, right? If only. Yeah, some of them were comped because it said at the top that they were. Yeah, he's been pushing that Halloween party, and I think most people are going to the JFK thing, and other people just don't want to be associated with him anymore. Yeah, 200, 250 people, that's it. Yeah, they're definitely going to be cheaper, Yeah, his MO is tearing anyone down who has anything on him. That's making anything that person brings forward as being suspect. He isn't smart, but he's crafty, low, cunning, like a weasel. Exactly. And that's exactly right, Matt. And I wish people had listened when I said it the first time way back in the winter of 2023. It would have saved a lot of heartache for a lot of people. A lot of heartache for a lot of people. Those of you that do want some say in all of this, you can write a letter to the New Jersey prosecutor that's taking the case. Her name is Nina. And I have the information. So anybody who would like to write a letter, I will happily give you that information if you just DM me or email me. Because that's anybody who's a victim of his, I think they need to know the pattern of behavior, right? And I think that would help them understand, and I think it would help Donna. So if anybody wants to do that, just let me know, and I will happily send you all the information, email or DM on Twitter. My Twitter is @TwistedTragedy3. And there is a fake one out there that pretends to be me and tells people to, to report my actual account, report the fake one. The only time, so I'm putting it in the chat, @TwistedTragedy3. There is no other Twitter account. The @ for the other person is completely different because it's a fake account, right? So you'll see, it'll say, just like it does right here, it'll say Twisted Tragedies on the top, and then it'll say @Twisted Tragedies. So the fake one has changed its name to Twisted Tragedies on the top, but their @ is different. So always remember, that is the only @ I have on Twitter, okay? The only one. Well, that's the thing. He can't stop talking about that case because that's where he made most of his money. So, and now that she doesn't, want anything to do with him, it's weird for him to be talking about it, yet he still does. Like, come on. Let's be real here. That's the thing. No matter how crafty you are, you're going to get caught. Karma is a bitch and she comes back around. If she missed you the first time, she's coming back around. She's coming back the fuck around. That's for damn sure. See, it's different now, though. It's different. It's not the same as before. I don't think worst case is probation at all. He's looking at, these are felony charges. These aren't misdemeanors, right? And it's not one felony charge. If he was looking at one felony charge with no record, maybe. But the fact that he has as many as he has and he's racking up other issues in other states, that is not going to look good for him. They're not just going to give him a slap on the wrist with all of that. Because if they did, right, that sets a precedent that that's the kind of slap on the wrist that they would give someone else if they decided to commit all those crimes and continue to commit crimes even when they're on bail. I don't think by a long shot that they would ever just give him a slap on the wrist. Not ever. Oh, they're in to both of the phones at this point. And that's the other thing. Do you know how much blackmail and wiretapping are in his phones? Why do you think he's so nervous and fought for so long to drag out them going through his phones? Because it's there. It exists, right? All of that stuff is there. It's unfortunate. It's insane to me. Absolutely insane. What's up, guys? I really think the feds need to be held accountable in some of this too. I do. The amount of bullshit that was started by the federal government not doing their fucking part of job and doing favors for people, that's corruption, right? I think the federal government and the state of Massachusetts needs to be held accountable for some people that have been hurt here. Because if he had been charged or if he had been put back in jail a while ago, he wouldn't have been able to make new victims, right? It wouldn't have been possible if the state of Massachusetts did its job. Just saying, Norfolk County did its job. Most of the stuff is Norfolk County. Because I promise you, if some of that shit was in my county, and I lived in Norfolk County pretty much my entire life almost, but if it was my county, there's no fucking chance he'd be sitting in a jail cell. 100%. That's the part. The ripple effects are real. They're 100% real. He is vile. He's disgusting. He is a hateful, angry person. But I believe that people can come together to say that's not okay. This is not okay. I believe that people from both sides of the Karen Read case There are a lot of missed, connections there. There are a lot of missed friendships. There are a lot of missed things that people probably can agree on other things outside of the case. Can we all agree that that behavior is disgusting and vile, that blackmail is not okay? It's not a good thing, right? That trying to tear apart people's lives is not a good thing. Bringing up things from 15, 20 years ago, 10 years ago, it serves no purpose other than to harm someone, right? Right? I mean, can we all agree to that? This isn't about sides on the Karen Read case. This is about what's right and what isn't right. What he does is not right. It's wrong. It's deplorable. It's disgusting. And I really do think that both sides could come together and connect and say, enough is enough with this. We saw enough of this kind of hate and anger and vitriol and just petty jealousy from him and his minions for a while now. When is enough enough? When do people stand up and say something? And I know there's a lot of people who are afraid. That's why. A lot of people are afraid. And that's why they don't stand up and say something. And I understand why. I totally understand why. It's just hard for me to sit there and look at all of this. And I agree, she's just as bad, but what I'm talking about right now is him, right? Because her case is over, her criminal case is over. So for me, he's just going to keep doing this to people if we don't all stand together. There are too many people, unfortunately, that are afraid. That's just it. That's sick. That's just sick. That's just, he did that on purpose. That's what I mean. Like those kind of stunts on purpose. Hi, Amber. It's deplorable. It's disgusting. It's not okay. And I think that both sides could come together and say that this is not what we support. We do not support this. We do not, right? I've said that many times, Christy. I've said that many times. And really for me, it's more about, divide and conquer is the oldest trick in the book, guys. Divide and conquer. If you keep fighting with each other, right, the attention isn't on the people it needs to be on. Just keep us fighting side versus side, do that, and then the attention is not on the issue. Divide and conquer. Right? Divide and conquer. Okay, cool. Let's not allow divide and conquer to work here, because it works all over the country for various things. Like Christy's saying here, it works. Divide and conquer is the oldest trick in the book. If people could learn to come together, there's a lot more of us than there's only one of him, right? Like if we all came together and said, no, this is not okay. This is not fucking okay. Then we would see some goddamn change. And that applies to everything where people are on sides. But that has to happen. People have to be willing to realize that he's not a good person, that what he stands for isn't anything good. All he cares about is himself. It's greed, and he thinks he's like an A-list celebrity. Like that's all he cares about, I mean, I'll never. To me, I don't know about accepting the verdict. I don't accept it. I don't accept it. I think again, everybody's very well aware of my position on that case. I think she's guilty. I'm never going to think anything different. I think a lot of things were fucked up that shouldn't have been, and I don't think that we got a very. Nonetheless, okay. Nonetheless, I think that he is a separate issue, right? He is a separate issue that needs to be dealt with. I think a lot of people did reach out personally to me after he attacked me the first time. Were like, this doesn't sound right. What the fuck is going on? I told them, and they immediately were like, yeah, that makes more sense. That makes more sense. I mean, I feel like civil discourse it doesn't exist anymore anywhere, or it's not allowed. The okay verdict. What okay verdict? Am I lost here? I don't, like I said, I don't know what accept is not the word for me. I don't, everybody is very clear on my position on the Karen case. I think she's guilty. That's not here nor there. I think my point is he's a separate problem. You know, it is a niche audience, I think, definitely, you know, but yeah, power in numbers. OJ, yeah, no, never, of course not. And we've heard from that jury afterwards, right, where they literally essentially said that they voted not guilty because they were claimed of racism or whatever. It didn't matter if he was actually guilty or not. They just wanted him off anyway, which was blew my mind. But nonetheless, you know, everyone knows where I stand on the case. That's not a, you know, secret at all. It's not a secret. But I can put that aside to try to, for the common good, right? To say, hold on, wait a second. This is the shit he's been doing long before this case. This case really has not much to do with who he is or what he's going to do in the future. His patterns of behavior have shown that. How many times have I said, now he'll do this, this, and this? And what does he do? Exactly what I said he would. This, this, and this. That's who he is. That's who he is. You know, me and Sean have talked about this a million times, obviously, because Sean was one of the very first people to message me and say, what he did to you was wrong. It was disgusting. It's deplorable, and I have your back. And I respect that, you know, because Sean saw right through it quickly, you know. It's gross. See, but that shouldn't happen, right? And that's the part that really gets me. No one should be afraid to speak up. No one should be afraid. Like, listen, yes, I deal with it on a daily basis because I speak up. The stuff that you guys have no idea about that I deal with every single day because I choose to speak up is gross. It's deplorable. It's disgusting. No one should have to put up with it. It's a lot of shit that I have to deal with simply for opening my mouth and saying what is true. And I don't really think anyone should have to deal with what I've had to deal with simply to tell the truth. But nonetheless, I do. I do on a daily basis. And it's a lot to deal with. I'm one person. It is a lot to deal with. But I do my best because I will not be bullied. I will not be bullied. I will not be silenced. I will not go away. I will not shut up. I will not stop speaking for victims. I refuse. I refuse. Lots of prayers for Beach Dance's sister who has an interview today. 100%. We give all the love to your sister for her interview today, Beach. You know? Right? Exactly. But now you're all young grasshoppers here, young grasshopper. We all will learn. You know, it's like karate where they call them young grasshopper and they learn. You know, like we're all young grasshoppers here and we're learning this behavior is not okay. Right? It is not okay. I love that movie. Young grasshopper. It's like iconic. You can't forget that one part of it, you know? He did think that it would up his credibility. The problem with that is he kills his own credibility with his own bullshit. That's half the problem, you know? That's half the problem. I think a lot of people didn't really know who he was deep inside until all this shit started coming out. And now people are trying to take a second look at, like, what do I really support here? You know? I agree with you, you know? But I can also know that there are people who think the opposite, even though I know probably things they don't, you know? He's not responsible for anybody's innocence, dude. He's responsible for his own bullshit, and he doesn't even take that responsibility. Again, I'm very clear on what I believe when it comes to that case, but this really isn't about that specifically, you know? Girl, listen, monster-in-laws are a thing, you know what I mean? Thank you, Donald. I appreciate that. My efforts are to stop the anger and the hate and the vitriol and the destroying of people's lives. These are real people with real families, real lives, and it affects people emotionally, mentally, physically. And why should we be okay with that? Why should we be okay with that, especially when he lies to cover his own ass? He harms other people so he can cover his own ass. Why should we be okay with that? I don't give a fuck what side you're on. If you are okay with that, that's a serious issue. You know? Mike gave him that advice. He didn't listen. The shock jocking is not a thing people really love anymore when you're trying to tear apart other people's lives, especially when people can then prove that you're lying. You're lying to your audience of over 100,000 people to gain, seal claps for destroying other people because they said something you didn't like. All it took was for Kara to say that she's in a happy relationship and doesn't really care about him. Doesn't think about him, and he went bonkers. That's all it took. And he's rattling off dates. Well, you said this on Twisted Tragedy livestream on this date, and you said this on this person's thing on this date. That's obsessed. That's psychotic. That's fucking psychotic. Why is that behavior okay? And then for him to say he loves it when she begged to be left alone, that's okay. Who the fuck is that okay with, really? Because if it's okay with anyone, this is not the place for you to be. Because it is not fucking okay with me. Because it just as easily could be anybody else. Make no mistake, he doesn't just go after people that he had some sort of relationship with. He will go after anyone. Someone he doesn't know, someone he does know, someone who just breathed the wrong way today. Okay? Lots of prayers for your sister, Peach. So, yeah, self-sabotage. It's all he knows how to do. But I'm sick of it. I'm fucking sick of it. I'm sick of people feeling like they want to nosedive off of a fucking porch, and I have to spend hours or days talking them off of that ledge simply because these people are harassing their fucking lives or spreading rumors about them that aren't true because he said so. It's not okay. Well, that's true too. It just pisses me the hell off. I mean, that's evil, right, Amber? That's just pure evil. I don't know how anyone could be okay with that. That's psychotic. Psychotic. That's the other one. That's psycho shit. Who tells people that? It's okay for his free speech. Remember, he screams about his free speech. His free speech, his free speech, his free speech, but no one else. He doesn't care about anybody else's free speech. Their free speech doesn't matter, right? Only his does. That's the part that really fucking gets me. Is only his free speech matters. No one else's free speech matters, just his. And put that into perspective. Why is anybody okay with that? You know what I'm saying? Why is anybody okay with that? I wish. And some people do. Some people do. Some people will send me a message and be like, hey, I watched your show today. And, but that's the thing. They're told not to. So you have to remember, so many people are told, don't go watch that show. She's a horrible person, right? Don't watch this person. They're a horrible person. So they never get the truth. Or maybe the truth is put out there and they're told just not to believe it. It's all fake. It's all a lie. And they just buy it, hook, line, and sinker. I'm with Julie. I am disgusted and embarrassed as a woman that this many women are okay with it. And yes, as soon as they come out of that echo chamber, that's exactly what I've heard every person who's come to me say. Once I was sort of outside of it, then I could see clear as day what was really going on. And I don't know why it took me that long to sort of come out of that. But that's the exact thing that people say to me all the time. Like, how could anybody cheer this shit on? You don't know these people in real life. And until you do, maybe you should know you're dealing with a pathological liar. He'll do anything to cover his own dirt. Anything. Anything. Well, that's the problem. It's the way he feels power, right? That's what narcissists do. The way that they feel power is by using those people to do what he wants, right? Don't give him that. I don't give him power over me. Don't give him power over you. Kyle Kennedy. No, I didn't. Oh, yeah, I have. That's terrible. That's terrible. Now we're talking about someone, he's already made himself a set in a jail cell. So I just find it so hypocritical, so hypocritical. It's gross. Oh yeah, it's all drama when it's about him and it's true, right? It's just drama. No one should listen to it. It's all drama. It's stupid and it's drama and it's stupid. But everybody should listen to him, and it's not drama when he wants to trash someone else. I am. I'm embarrassed as a woman. I'm embarrassed. I am embarrassed as a woman that women support this in him. It's gross. I know. Believe me. You don't have to even talk about him. You can say nothing. He'll come back around to decide to harass you when he gets bored or has no content. Make no mistake about it. And I get it. I get why people don't speak up, but at the same time, people staying quiet is what gave him this power all this time. Don't give it to him. Take your power back. Do not give him that power over you or anyone else. Do not. That's giving an abuser power. Take your power back. Do not give it to him. See, that's the thing. Why? Why does he get to control who you watch? Or who you donate to? Or who you spend your time talking to? He's a creator on YouTube. It shouldn't matter to him who any of his viewers watch. That's not his fucking business. His viewers are allowed to watch whoever they want. They are allowed to donate to whoever you want. The only reason it bothers him is, well, if you're watching someone else, you could be donating to someone else. That's money you're taking out of his pocket. Those are words he has said privately via text, that if his viewers are watching other people, then they're donating to those people and it's money coming out of his pocket. Imagine thinking that way. I don't have a lot, but I had like $20 on Google Play, and I've been spending $5 of it every time Krista's live. I go over there and I dump a $5 super chat into her stream because she's another smaller creator, and I just want to support another creator, and I do whatever I can to help. And I don't understand why people are so greedy. Why can't we help one another? Why can't we spread the goodness around? I don't understand it. Of course they do. Of course they do. To take screenshots, stuff, but that's not normal. Oh yeah, no, I'm a grifter, right? But it's a job for him. Make it make sense to anyone. The fact that he even says that should tell everyone everything they need to know. Everyone else on YouTube he doesn't like is a grifter, but it's a job for him. No, this is my job, period. I don't have a traditional 9 to 5. I don't need to have. First of all, why does anybody have to have a traditional 9 to 5? Like, who gets to decide whether someone has a traditional 9 to 5 or not? That's what I'd like to know. Who thinks that they're judge, jury, and executioner over other people's lives and other people's schedules, and whether people can afford childcare, and whether people have parents that are ill they need to take care of, or siblings that are ill they need to take care of, or kids that are or special needs? Like, who the fuck is he to decide for anybody else what anyone else is doing? I know it. The first time I saw your name and it was TT, I was like, oh my God, that's hilarious. Because that's what they call me, obviously, for short. But yours is Twisted T. You know what I mean? But I can agree with this too. But I also think a lot of the time, like, you have to remember, right now he's rehashing shit that's from years back. Years previous. This isn't now stuff. This is stuff from forever ago, it's crazy. It's crazy to me, his dumb rallying cry. Except he didn't go to jail for Karen Reed. And even Karen Reed has called him out on that, just to be clear. Even Karen Reed has called him out on that. He didn't go to jail for Karen Reed. He went to jail for wiretapping and threatening his ex-girlfriend and going over to her house. That's why he went to jail. It had nothing to do with Karen Reed. Not a single fucking thing. Had he not done that, he wouldn't have went to jail. Let's be real here. It had nothing to do with her. And the fact that he used that rallying cry used to piss off Karen Reed. So eventually she started calling him out on it and saying, stop telling everybody you went to jail for me. You didn't go to jail for me. You didn't go to jail with anything that had anything to do with me. You went to jail for doing something people told you not to do. Because even she got pissed off about him lying about that. I mean, come on. That's the way for him to be. I went to jail for Karen Reed. Feel bad for me, guys. No, you went to jail for committing crimes that you chose to commit. Nobody has a right to dox or harass anyone, period. And I make it very abundantly clear here in my chat that nobody, and I mean nobody, should go and do any of that after being here. Not in my name. Nope. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I agree with you, Joan. I think he shouldn't be welcome anywhere until he changes his behavior. But do I think his behavior will ever change? No. Nope. Absolutely fucking not. Because pillow talk be talking. Yeah, it's rules for but not for me. It's the way he operates, right? His free speech, but no one else's. He doesn't like anybody else's free speech. He only likes his own free speech. He argues against free speech all the time. It's insane to me for someone who cries about free speech. Like, stop it with the madness, please. That's absurd. Listen, I know, I get it, but you have to remember we're dealing with people here who are vulnerable and feel like they're just making decisions based purely on emotion. I would have never called him, right? I would have suggested she not, because that's just going to make him get worse. But I have no control over what someone else chooses to do or not chooses to do when they're feeling desperate enough to maybe think that they can wheel and deal with a maniac. You can't wheel and deal with a psychopath. You can't wheel and deal with a narcissist. You can't wheel and deal with a maniac. They're just going to try to blackmail you, and they're going to keep using that. So even if you get what you want in the short term of them not attacking you, guess what? He'll just use that long term. He'll just keep going back to you and saying, I want you to do this, and I want you to do this, or I'm going to do this, or I'm going to do this. No. Right? Those are delicious. It really would, It's just gross, the whole thing, I hear that a lot too. I'm embarrassed. It took me a long time to figure it out. I'm embarrassed of the things, not saying you, obviously, but other people have said to me, I'm embarrassed of the things I said, and I did during the time that it took me that long to figure out. I'm an intelligent person. I don't know how I didn't figure it out, I don't know. Sorry, we're buffering. Exactly. Leopard never changes his spots. Well, not with him. They should. You are right about that. No, she called him, and halfway through the phone call, he decided to say, well, I'm recording you. Halfway through the phone call. So after he screamed, after he yelled, after he told her he wanted her to demanded that she do this, and this, then he hit the record button and said, I'm recording you. Now, whatever he was recording before he said, I'm recording you, that's wiretapping. He lives in delusion land, Took me like a year. I saw stuff earlier. I would take things he said with a grain of salt, but I didn't understand the depth of it. See, I think that's the problem with a lot of people. They don't understand the depth. They don't understand how harmful all of it is, who it's hurting, or the fact that people can't grasp that he would lie as much as he does. That's half the problem, is they don't grasp that he's lying as much as he is. Hey guys, we're 2 hours and 15 minutes in. So I will ask at this point that y'all hit the like button. If you have not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. Definitely hit the subscribe button. If you haven't, make sure you change the little bell notifications from some to all so that every time I go live, you get that little notification. And if you want a way to support the channel, because we are only supported by all of you, right? All of our support only comes from you guys. So if we don't get support, then it makes it very difficult for us to continue as a small creator. Well, I'm not depending on something like the Sewer Squad. I'm not dependent on other people's streams and their viewers. And there's nobody telling me what I can say and what I can't say. Nobody telling me that I need to protect him, right? Like these people, like apparently Nurse Kim and Will have done, to protect him is lie to their audiences. I'm not doing that. I refuse to do that. And I don't care if it's the popular thing or not. Julie has a link here. She's asking people to report that live for abuse and harassment and sexual content. I agree. It should be reported. Yeah, I'm with Jim on this, a blogger, not a journalist. But if you would like a way to support the channel, we have a bunch of different ways to do so, and we always can use your support. We have Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, Revolut, Chime. Chime is the same as the Venmo and the Cash App, and the Revolut is the exact same. And then we have a link in the chat that is for any credit or debit card. You can enter any amount you want. You can write your own little note there. You can remain anonymous on any of these if you wish. And we have all this information also is in the description of the video for all the people who are watching this after I'm not live anymore. I love getting those when I'm not live anymore. It just shows me like, oh, hey, someone's watching the show right now. And then like a little donation comes in with a really nice little note. And I'm like, it just reminds me like someone's watching it while I'm not live right now. It's just like makes my day. You know, that little, like I got the one this morning that I read to you guys this morning at $10. And that just, it made me smile because it wasn't live, but someone was watching yesterday's. And, you know, it makes you know that people are appreciating what you're doing and it makes you feel good, you know? So all of that in the Amazon wish list is in the description of the video as well. You can always find it there if you're ever looking for it. And there's a ticker. We have a ticker that goes across the screen. See you later, Beach. Yeah, no, I don't consider him a journalist. You know, it will not let your card go through. Interesting. Weird. It should. I mean, that's weird. That's strange. I don't know. Usually, let me click on it right now, make sure it's working well. Is it not pinned? I pinned it. Damn it, where is it? Hold on. I thought I pinned it. Damn it. It was pinned to the top earlier. Let me see if I can. Because I think I took a look at it when someone else said that one time. It might be your bank too. Sometimes banks will automatically decline something if they think it's like spam or they think it's like someone stealing your card numbers or whatever. They'll automatically decline things. I know mine does that once in a blue moon if I go and I try to buy something that I've never bought before, or if it's a bigger amount, it'll do that. It'll say, you're not doing that. Absolutely not. Let's see. Oh, that might be why. The Direct Express. I remember those they have them for unemployment years ago. My husband had one. Did you know that if you have a regular bank account though, Social Security can put it in? I helped someone do this recently. They didn't know because they had the card sent to them or whatever. And they didn't know. You could have them send it to your own. Sorry, we were buffering again. I had to fix it. Oh, see? Yeah, that's why. Which is weird because Social Security shouldn't be telling you where to spend your money. That's crazy to me. But it's probably the card. Yeah. But yeah, you can have it hooked up to your own card, so you don't have to worry about that. Like for instance, if you have Venmo or Cash App or Chime, you can have it hooked up to direct deposit into that account if you want, or any other bank account for that matter. That way, you don't have those problems where like, oh, it won't go through here, or it won't go through there, But save your dollars, Linda. You're here, right? That's important. Being here and hitting the like button, those are important things. Those little emojis on the side over there, I hear those help, but I don't know to what extent they help. But I have heard that the little emojis over there on the side help. Yeah, yep. Yeah, no, I get that too, where people are like, I don't want that, but it's direct deposit. They can't just, you know what I mean, look into your bank account. I mean, they're just dumping the money in. But I think those Direct Express cards are what people are, those are them like looking at what you're spending it. That's why. Oh, Jethro. From what? The yard? Jethro? God dang it. Yeah. A lot of people, I tell them to just sign up for them. That's how I've helped people who didn't have regular bank accounts get their Social Security onto their card, is just have them sign up for Cash App or Venmo because it's free. You know what I mean? And you could link it to whatever other card, and you can have your direct deposit put right into there. Actually, my YouTube, what little I get from YouTube actually goes onto my Venmo card. So that's the other thing. I got an email this morning that the whopping, I think it's 300 I had from last month, it should have already been in my account, and it's not. So I don't know what the actual hell is going on in that department, but they need to figure that out. Well, girl, don't you worry, because you're here now. They are, but at the same time, they put so many restrictions on those, and it, you know what I mean? Like, all the restrictions is like, okay, they don't have a bank account, but then you put all these restrictions on it so these people can't do X, Y, and Z. It's like, then why even give them, like, why put any restrictions on the cards? It shouldn't, like, if they put it into their own bank account, they don't have restrictions. So why, you know what I mean? That's, I think, where it gets people. Yeah, they have to do it. Like, so it'll take like a month to transfer over once you're in it, you know? Yeah, well, you know what? He can bring up whatever the fuck he wants. My kid has more integrity. She's smarter than him on any day, right? And I find it funny that he has anything to say about anybody else or anybody else's kids. That's what I find fucking funny. My kid would go to war for me, disabled or not. My children are my babies, and I always have my children's back, no matter what, and they always have my back. I'm their mom. You want to see a mama bear? I will turn into a mama bear real quick. Real quick. He knows nothing about my daughter. She's probably one of the smartest, most brave people I know. And shame on him. Yeah, well, you know what? It's also shame on them, though, for not speaking up. Not saying, whoa, 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 whoa. What the fuck, guy? This isn't okay. They're too afraid of him berating them, so they don't say anything. That's the problem, right? And this is where I say we can come together as people, as one, and say, this is not acceptable behavior. This is not okay. This is not okay. I've heard that same thing, Linda, from so many people. Like, they're putting too many restrictions on it that I can't do X, Y, and Z that I need to do. So no. Good for you, girl. That's right. You absolutely can. You absolutely can. It is your money. You have every right to do whatever you want with it. Let's see. So, okay, this was sent to me, right? And this was apparently on something we didn't see. Let me see if I can scroll down a little. I think they said it's in the replies. Hold on. Replies. Here it is. Okay, hold on. I got it right here. Hey, Carol. You feel better? You feel better today? I set up a little separate bank account for Venmo for donations so I didn't have to worry about fraud too much. I love that. I love that. Venmo is always better, especially if you're watching creators. I tell you guys this all the time, but for people who don't know, Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, those things are, better for the creators as it's not going through YouTube, and YouTube's not taking their large chunk out of it, Only because I will disagree with people instead of staying quiet. But that's good, but that means you have integrity, That means you're not going to sit silent and allow them to do something that you don't stand for. I'm the same way. So I feel you on that, Wallflower. I am the same way as you. I can't just sit there and say nothing. I can't. I can't stay quiet. I will not stay quiet. Who are they to try to make me stay quiet? You know what I mean? Like, no one is going to bully me into doing a goddamn thing. First of all, nobody's going to tell me what I can and can't do. Ask my husband how that works. Not even my husband's going to tell me what I can and can't do, and I love him dearly. All right, let's see. Okay, so, you guys can't even see it. It's so small, you guys can't even see it. But, okay, this is apparently where Jason said, so we read this earlier, right? Cut the bullshit, blah, blah, blah. Meredith having this conversation with this other person, sending it to him as a threat, he said. And then Haley goes on to basically say that, like, Flip somehow, quote, set up Meredith by, releasing information, which is ridiculous. You can't set someone up with information that's true, okay? That's absurd. That's ridiculous. And then he said, you conveniently put her in a position by leaking her personal text messages to your very good friend Chris, who you pretended not to know, where she had no choice but to privately speculate in order to clear her name. I thought it was clear about that the first time I said it. So Flip says, please keep talking. She's not speculating about anything, and gives this screenshot. And it's obviously a conversation with Meredith. And it says, because one of the people Aiden played then told her clearly. I said this to him as soon as he told me about it all. I wasn't even one of the people who heard it first because I wasn't speaking to him at the time. He told me about it after she already was accusing him. So basically, he told me what he did. He called 4 people and played that for them. Then the next day, Karen is accusing him of recording. He goes, I bet she's just suspecting it and no one actually told her that. I said, really? She's never accused you of recording her before. That seems like an oddly specific accusation. I told him someone definitely told her. He told me the 4 people he played it for, and I told him who I bet most likely told her. He said, yeah, maybe, but still didn't think anyone crossed him. But I didn't even hear it till like a week later when we had lunch in person. He played it. Sorry, we were buffering. I know, Carol. We know. We know. The only thing she has ever said is that she's afraid, right? But that she's going to stick up for herself and other people. If she has something to say, she's going to say it, as she should. That's her First Amendment. Quiet is complicit, yes. In my opinion, it is. You're welcome. I have both. I have both. I learned to just have both because some people have Venmo, some people have Cash App, so I just learned to have both. How do you download the app? You just download the app on your phone. Boop, boop. And then you hook up a bank account to it when you get one. But before you have a bank account, you can still have the app, and they'll send you a card in the mail. So that will be another account that you can have. But you just download the app and sign up for it. Just email your name, all that stuff. I'd love to know who she thought leaked it. I have my ideas, I have my ideas about who leaked it and why. And I obviously don't know specifically who did, but I do have my theories on who, why, and how. Yeah, you can get a card from Venmo. You didn't know that? Yeah, I have a Venmo card. It's purple. You can pick the color too. Pink, purple. There's all sorts of different colors. So yeah, I have a Venmo card. I have a Venmo card and I have a Cash App card. I have a Chime card. PayPal has cards too, but for some reason it's not an option on mine. So I just transfer mine over to my account from my PayPal. But yes, you can get a card from Venmo and Cash App. I had a pink Cash App card, no, pink Venmo card and a purple Cash App card. And then this year I changed because now you can like personalize them. You can like doodle on them. I think it's like $3 or something to like personalize your card. But I did, and my Cash App one actually says Twisted Tragedies on it. And I got like a heart and like a thing of cherries. It's a whole cute little card. Yeah, you can pay for rentals with it. You can pay for Airbnbs with it. Groceries. Yeah. Yep. You can do it all. It's technically a Visa card. But yeah, I've gotten groceries with it. I've paid for an Airbnb with it. I've gotten a rental car with it. Some places are starting to restrict that now, but I guess it depends. I've never had a problem. Yeah, you know what I mean? I've never had a problem. You're welcome. Yeah, I have, but that's why I have Cash App and Venmo, because some people have Cash App, some people have Venmo. On Cash App, you can even like buy into like little blitz, like $5. You want to buy into a stock. $5 obviously isn't really worth it. You're going to make just to sort of tinker around with like a couple dollars here or there to figure out like a stock. You can do that on Cash App on their app, which is kind of cool. There's now savings on Cash App. You can put things in a savings account. I can't remember if it's Cash App or Venmo. One of them is like at like 3.4 high yield savings, whatever. But it does what it's supposed to, that's for sure. But yes, you can get a card from Venmo and Cash App. LTL, you think it was LTL? I don't think he played it for LTL because they're not friends. They weren't friends, and I don't think he wasn't one of the 4 people that it was played for originally. Hey, Maestro. Acorns. Yeah, I heard about that, but I don't have that. I have a Revolut, which is like an exchange. So if you don't have a Revolut card, it's like the same, it's sort of the same thing as Cash App and Venmo, but you can send and receive money between countries. So Cash App and Venmo are really just the United States. If you're like me and you're a creator and you have people from all over the world, Revolut is one that people from different countries can have, and they can send and receive money just like Cash App or Venmo does, but country to country. And then you can, right in the app, boop, exchange rate and exchange it from, say, British pounds over to US dollars right there on the app. And you can wait for the best exchange rate and then go, okay, this is a good exchange rate, boop, and then put it into, US dollars. It's kind of cool, right? And anybody who has Revolut cards knows. I think there's like a little whatchamacallit, like a code that Revolut gives me on my app, like, oh, if a person signs up, you each get like $10 or something like that. I'll have to look and drop it in the comments if I can find it. For sure. Right? Taking notes. Hey, Maestro, we were talking about you earlier with your little cute QR code you made me for being a member. I am dropping some members only later on, probably won't be till like evening time, but later on tonight I'll be doing a couple members only shorts. Because I'm trying to get into doing a little more like members only stuff as we gain members of the show here. So if you haven't gotten your membership to the channel, there's a bunch of, different ways to do it. If you have an iPhone, for a reason unknown to me, iPhones won't let you do it right there from where you can do super chats and super stickers for some reason. But you can with the little QR code that's up top here in the corner. You can scan, you put me on your TV and you scan that with the camera of your phone. And after a minute of scanning it with the camera of your phone, it'll pop up like a website. You click on it and that'll bring you right to where you can buy a membership to the channel. Or if you have an Android, it's easy for you. You can just go into where you buy super chats, super stickers, or you can go on a computer and do it. Either way. All right, let's get this off the screen here. That's that little thing there that was in the other part that I didn't see it. Yeah, so that's what that was him going back and forth with Jason this morning, I guess. Yeah, no, and they're not friends. There was a whole fallout with LTL. There was a whole fallout between all these people with him. And again, they kind of eat their own. That's what they do. Whether some petty jealousy issue comes to the surface or not, that's what kind of happens is people get attacked because they speak up or they know something they're not supposed to know. And so that's one of the ways that they, get people to shut up and go away is by attacking them, even privately, or threatening them. And so then they're out of the, circle of trust, I guess. What's a hype? See, I don't know anything about this new thing about hypes, right? So Eva said, hey guys, I really want to help this channel, give it a hype. You get so many hypes per week. To see if you have hypes, go where the like button is and scroll up. So it is like on the original part of the video, like where you go to click in to see me, where the like button is, there's a thing that says hypes, and you can hype up someone's video. And that's supposedly supposed to help the algorithm. I think people get 2 a week or something like that, 2 free ones a week. Otherwise you can pay to hype someone, which is weird. Why would you want to pay? Nonetheless. But I guess it helps. So I don't know. Yeah, I do have that option at least it shows up on my end as a hype. Like, let me see. Content. If I go to the front of my channel, it shows. See, that's not okay, right? That's not okay. But I would expect that because they stick up for Aiden, and that's in the glare. And so that's like a whole ridiculous, nonsensical thing. Okay, so live chat, share, save. Oh, 3 hypes a week. Maybe that's what it is. But I don't think the hypes pop up until I'm not live anymore because I don't see it right now. But I did see it on one of my videos. I think it was yesterday. When it's let me click on one that's not live because I believe the ones that are when they're not live anymore is when you can hype them. Let's see if it shows up on like yesterday's chat replay. Promote, share, shop, promote. Oh, and then it goes download, super thanks, save, report. So is it the promote? Is that what that is? New video promotion. No, that's you want to pay to promote your video. Who the hell does that? I guess bigger creators that have the money to do that. I saw it on my phone, but this is the computer, so maybe it's only on the phone version. I don't know. No, see, yeah, so it's got to be on the phone version because I don't see it on the computer. I'm on the computer, so that's probably why I don't see it. But I do see it when I'm on the phone version of it. So interesting. Definitely all these new little things that happen. You know? Yeah, on browser I don't see it either. But I've seen it on my phone, you know? I've seen it on my phone, I have. Yeah, he does. Is that the one though where he was up until like 5 in the morning? I feel like because he was on, it was like 5 in the morning and the guy had to go to work in like an hour. So I feel like that must have been the one, you know? But that's not okay, Carol. That's not okay. 3 times a week. But a heart. But why attack? Like for what? Who? Like that's just mean. That's just mean. That's just mean. You know, that is mean. For what reason? You know? Yeah, I think the hype is only after the video is live. I mean, maybe it is now, but I think you can only do it on a phone. I can't see it on a computer. I looked. This confirmed, I mean, that just confirms what other people knew, you know? They're just breathing, talking for those guys, you know? It's usually in the like share. Yeah, so I think it's got to be only on the mobile version. I don't see it. And that shouldn't happen, right? That shouldn't happen. Can anyone see it on Android or Apple? I don't know. I'd have to look at my phone to be able to see, but I don't see it on the computer, that's for sure. That's terrible. I'm sorry that happened, Carol. What buffering is driving me nuts. Can a non-Apple user confirm they see it, please? Like an Android user? Anybody who's using Android, can you see it? Yeah, see, I couldn't even see her own comments here. And if you're coming here to defend, see how many less trolls we had today? I put it on subscribers only mode. I mean, I couldn't even see her comments here. And I'm the creator, which means if I can't see your comments in my own chat, we have a problem, right? Like we have a problem. That's a problem. Well, they're definitely afraid of him, and that's the other thing, right? Is they're afraid of speaking up or afraid of realizing that they have, I don't think I think Wallflower says she doesn't see it, but I think it only happens after the stream isn't live anymore. I think once I'm not live anymore, the hype will pop up. Yeah, see, that's what I thought. I think it's not live, and then you'll see it when you're not live anymore. Thank you, I appreciate that. Yeah, I think the hype button only pops up after you're not live anymore. Thank you guys for checking. I appreciate you guys. I mean, but this is what I mean, that they're so afraid of understanding now what they're seeing and hearing is not okay. Because if they stop and think about it for a second, right, and they go, wait a second, I have been supporting these creators and these people who are attacking and lying at the same time. They're lying about what they're doing, and they're attacking the people who are telling the truth about it because they don't want it out there. That is a big thing, right? And I've heard it from other people where they were just like, you know what, I probably knew, but I didn't want to admit deep down that I supported this, because I don't want to think that I would ever support something like this, but I was so blinded, right? And so it's a big jump for people to understand what they're supporting, and I feel like that's a really big problem for people to come to that realization, like, hey, I am supporting this sort of bad, shitty behavior, right? It just stinks to have to think about why people can't come to the realization faster. You know what I mean? Like, why are they not understanding quicker what they're dealing with? I don't know. I don't have the answer, but I wish I did. By the way, we did fix the store. So people weren't able to check out. It was having a problem checking out. I fixed it. It works now. We sold a cup the other day. I bought turtle tears, sip it on turtle tears. So they're all there. And it's working, and I'm working on making other things, for Christmas time and stuff. You can buy your loved one or yourself a Twisted Tragedy sweatshirt or shirt, or I'm working on it. What I'm gonna do is I'm also gonna make ornaments, but here at home, and ship them out. So that's something I'm gonna work on here, and because I don't see anything in a store. I have an itch in my back and I can't reach it. That I could make. All right, I'm gonna wrap this up because I'm starving and I have to pee, and I've been here 2 hours and 44 minutes. So I love you guys. I love your stinking faces. If you can support the channel, there's one of many different ways to do so. We don't have sponsors. There's no corporate backing. There's no other creators telling us what we can and can't say. We definitely need all the support we can get, because we're just a teeny tiny channel trying to bring them truth bombs out. And every one of those donations that comes in is a truth bomb that helps me continue on with the channel and try to bring people together at this point, try to support victims, and try to get the word out that this behavior is not okay. It's just not. It's not okay. It's not okay behavior. It's harmful to people, and the people who are engaging in the behavior are the people who are hurting other people because they just don't want to admit that they did anything wrong. TT sends another $10 and says, until everyone gets their Venmo. Great stream. Thank you, TT. Thank you so much, my friend. We appreciate you. I love all your stinking faces. I will see you guys in the morning. Hi, Dr. David. Nice to see you. Welcome, my friend. Welcome, welcome. Sorry you came in at the end, but don't you worry, because you can rewatch this when I'm not live anymore. For those of you who decide to watch this and who donate when I'm not live anymore, don't worry. I'm still going to give you that thanks in the morning when I see you guys, and I'm still going to read it tomorrow morning. You can remain anonymous. There's many other ways to support the channel. Hit the like button. Make sure when I'm not live anymore, you go check out those hypes. Apparently that's a thing. It helps the channel. So as soon as I'm not live anymore, the outro plays and it's over, you can hit the hype button. Let's hype this baby up. I love your stinking faces, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye.